does Mom hate me?
You both have such strong personalities.
Well, there's exciting things happening here tonight, and we've got lots to talk about. We've got a special 2-hour broadcast. Hello, everybody. I'm David Burrows, host of the Video Show Network, and happy to be here tonight as we come to you live from Lambton College and the LC Esports Arena here at Lambton College, something that is very new. We've got some very special guests coming up here tonight that we're going to be sharing with you in just a moment. Whether you're a gamer or not, we would encourage you to stay here and learn about esports. There's an esports program that's here at the college. Now, I know sometimes we say that, you can get a diploma in gaming. Some people roll their eyes. It's not basket weaving, for those of you who know what that means. And we're going to have some guests here tonight that are going to talk to us about the program, some very special personalities that are going to be here. And speaking of special personalities, we've already got a couple here to start us off from our IT department. Eric Brown, thanks for being here, Eric.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
And Rick Brown.
Hey, Dave, thanks.
No relation. They're not brothers. You can't see the resemblance. As I said, lots of great things that we're going to talk about here in the esports and e-gaming world. First, I'm going to go over to our friend Rick, though, and just, Rick, why don't you give us a bit of an agenda of what we're going to be doing here tonight and who these people are that we're going to be talking to.
All right, thanks, Dave. So yeah, as mentioned, we have a lot of special guests that are going to be joining us tonight. So you can see we kind of have a schedule up on the side of the stream here. So for the first half hour, we're just going to kind of wait for people to filter in and talk about some of the things that we have going on. And at 8:30, we're going to knock it out of the park right away and bring in Aaron Esser. If you're not familiar with
He's
Aaron
amazing.
Esser, yeah. If you're not familiar with Aaron, you will be after this. Not right now, but check him out, youtube.com/Aaron Esser. He's got a big following, so we'll get into that when he comes.
When you say big following, though, let's talk about that. For what is a big following on Twitch or YouTube? Like, I mean, he's got like 1 million subscribers, right?
He's got 1.1 million subsubscribers.
Okay, if you want to give or take.
So, you know, I think 20 is big, personally,
I would agree.
So 1.1, he's doing okay. So we're going to start off with Aaron. He's going to join us at 8:30, and he's going to be here. So we've got this
live in the
lovely
college here. And what's great about that, I think we should point out, is Aaron Esser is a former alumni student here of Lambton College, right?
Yeah, he graduated our digital photography program at Lambton College.
Yeah.
So, because we didn't have a program that
that's right.
We're going to offer
And
in
we're going to find out what this means to him to have that here now. So, and then we're going to move on to...
Yeah, so after Aaron, we're going to move on to James Kozacek from... we're going to move on to... Is it James?
Yeah.
Let me check.
Yeah, James will be here.
I'm second guessing myself. So James Kozacek, he's our subject matter expert out of Florida. So we're going to talk about some exciting things that he's doing right now. We don't even want to talk about it until he gets here.
Yeah.
But a nice new update that he just announced about a week ago. Pretty big deal. So anyways, we'll talk about why he's our subject matter expert and, you know, how he's helping us with the program. After that, we're going to spin over to actually have a representative from Twitch student here. So Kevin Hung, he came for our opening. So he's been to Sarnia. He's going to join us from Seattle, video in, and just talk about how our first course in the program is really going to line up with the Twitch dashboard and their new achievements that they've released. So
they've really just made it exciting for people to become a part of Twitch, and then moving forward on getting those. They made it kind of like the gaming world, right? Yeah. Achievement levels and stuff. So I know
everybody likes achievements, and then you can see right there what you need to do to get to whatever level you're trying to get to on Twitch.
Set those goals.
Exactly. So we got him coming in for sure is awesome, and then after that we're going to move over to Charlie Watson. Charlie's helped us out tremendously. His whole organization, Set to Destroy X. So he's going to join us and basically tie everything together. why content creation and gaming and everything all comes together, because he has everybody doing that in his organization. He has content creators, he has professional gamers.
Yeah.
So, you know, it just ties everything to business
He pays
together.
people to come in and do this. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to talk about the money side of this as well, and,
Yeah.
and the opportunities that are out there for people who want to get involved in esports.
Yeah, and then he just had a big win last week that he'll want to talk about too. So there's always new news when you talk to these guys, so it's great. We're going to finish off. Our last guest is going to be Brady from our marketing department. So
Yep.
he's just going to talk about the program a little bit with us as well, and make sure we drive home some of the details about what this program is and why you would want to come to Lambton College potentially and take this new academic program. So, and it's probably a good time now to differentiate between an academic program and a varsity program or an esports program. So when we talk about program, we're generally, in tonight's show, we're going to be talking about our new academic program that we're offering at Lambton.
Right.
So, and then we'll just converse amongst us for the last little bit and a nice draw, and then.
Right, Rick, thanks for that. So we've got a full 2 hours. We just want to say special thank you to partners at Twitch here for featuring us on the main page of Twitch here. This is really exciting. You know, it's really a privilege to be on the main page of Twitch. The main page of a lot of things, but of course, Twitch partnering with Lambton College and the esports and the varsity, it's really exciting times, because I think, I know for me, so I'm kind of new to the gaming thing, you know, I'm learning the Rocket League, or trying to anyway. The reason it's exciting times is people need to understand the opportunity that is sitting here at Lambton College and at many different colleges and universities around the world. I want to come over to you, Eric. You know, you're part of the IT department. You know, obviously, you've been working closely with this as well. Aside from the fun factor in all of this, what are the opportunities that you're seeing that esports is bringing here from Lambton College?
Well, I mean, just the community, the esports community in general is kind of a really cool beginnings thing. Like, there's a lot of flexibility in what someone can do right now. They can start off, and it's kind of like maybe the old days where people were saying, oh, you didn't have to have like a master's degree to get into places. There's a lot of people getting into places who are, you know, not having the full education of maybe doing kind of stuff that we're doing now in terms of production.
Right.
Or having the business savvy, and it's just starting to get to the point where, yes, they're going to want to have all these people in there. So from an education perspective, having the program come in and start to fill that void that's going to be needed soon is kind of a big deal, I think.
Yeah, well, and that's a great answer. I mean, it's $1 trillion industry. That's with a T, right? So, I mean, that usually spells opportunity as well, from, you know, the production side of things to being the player, to marketing, to graphic design, to all of those areas. Rick, anything you want to add to that? Other opportunities you're seeing as well?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing, obviously, we have just the general content creator, but we're going to see a lot of jobs that are opening up just as esports continues to explode. So having, I guess, the education, obviously, as Eric kind of touched on, maybe wasn't so important to begin with, but
Yeah.
as esports grows, they're going to start realizing that there are these programs coming up, and they're going to want people with that experience and that education.
Right.
So I think we've done a really great job of working with industry leaders and industry partners such as the Collegiate Star League. Robert Morris University started this, and we've been working with them, obviously with Twitch and things like that. So we're building a community as well as an educational space where these people will not just leave with an education, but they'll leave with a network of people that they can work with.
I think that's a good point. You say community is in there. You know, the relationships. I know, you know, I first started talking about gaming and stuff. My son, who's 17 years old, of course, he's a gamer, and I started to realize coming in here to the arena, I didn't just see faces frozen towards the screen. You know, there were people having conversations, sure, about strategies and that type of thing. And, you know, strategy in anything is, you know, kind of the win factor and all that. Mm-hmm. But just building relationships and friendships, and they're just talking about life stuff in school and everything else that goes along with that. Yep. Did you have something you wanted to add?
No, that hits the nail on the head. I think they've been like our teams that we've had. Our 3 teams are Overwatch, CS:GO, and League teams. They've been really good at working together and real come together as a team, and it's been kind of nice to watch.
Yeah. Well, it's once again, if you're just tuning in and watching us right now, we're coming to you live from Lambton College in the Lambton College Esports Arena, and we're talking right now with Eric Brown and Rick Brown from the IT department, and who are heavily involved with what's happening here with esports and the program that's now available. You can go online. I believe it's available. You can go and apply online now for the programming.
Yeah, so the program is available to apply to. In Ontario, to apply, you have to go through OCAS and apply for your programs. But to get information right now, you can go to lambtoncollege.ca /ESEA for Esports Entrepreneurship and Administration, and the details of the program are on there.
Perfect.
Yeah, and we'll actually have those links popping up throughout the day. So if you watch on the stream there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you'll be able to see a QR code and a link to various different things, and one of them will be that one.
That's awesome. And just before I forget anything, we've got a full production going on here at Lambton College at the Esports Arena, and I want to give a shout out to our director and producer, kind of doing it all guy. Sean is running things back there behind the things, so thanks to Sean. Sean's also seeing the chat and everything. I don't know if we'll get a chance. He's going to try to respond as much as he can, but maybe we'll get to some questions a little bit later on if there's anything out there.
I've got eagle vision. I can actually.
Can you, I was going to say I'm the old guy here, so I can't quite do that.
Yeah, they're talking about there's a Christmas giveaway that Set to Destroy X is doing too, and we just launched one.
Oh, yeah.
As well, so to coincide kind of with that, so they're chatting about that right now. So Set to Destroy X. I think it's settodestroyx.com /giveaway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie. I see you on there.
All right. Well, again, thanks to everybody for watching here. We've got so much to talk about, and if you're just tuning in, Aaron Esser is going to be here, our first guest coming up here at 8:30. Now, I have to say, how do you overcome that? Let's talk about that rolling of the eyes thing I kind of mentioned earlier. When you say to somebody, well, I'm 48 years old, so if I wasn't kind of connected to you guys like I am, I might roll my eyes at that. Is that an obstacle when trying to sell this or push this out to parents and say, come to Lambton College. Mom and Dad, I want to go to Lambton College and take e-gaming. Right? Like, I mean, that's got to be an issue.
Yeah, I think it's becoming less of an obstacle though, because a lot of the parents. So I'm a parent and I'm 32, and basically I've been gaming since I was a kid,
Yeah.
and a lot of the parents are in the same position. So it's not like it's something new to them or anything like that. Perhaps the esports part of it is new to them.
Well, they're getting the diploma thing.
Yeah.
In gaming. That's.
Yeah, they might not immediately see it, but it's pretty easy to show the numbers of where they're trending in terms of, say, viewership for esports is bigger than regular sports in the 18 to 25 bracket and younger, right?
Super Bowl's gonna go away.
Right. So
Madden. There's always Madden.
There's always Madden. That's right.
So yeah, it's definitely trending in the right direction. I think when you start showing those numbers, and then when you see how the guys are together again like that, it's kind of an obvious thing eventually.
There's a lot of laughing going on behind us there. We've got some of the Lambton College varsity team back there, and it's available. Well, you can come from anywhere in the world if you want, but if you're here in Sarnia, it is available for an hourly rental fee. Have your maybe some Christmas parties, that sort of thing. But Rick, could you maybe touch on some numbers that Eric was mentioning about sponsorships, and you're really good at that stat thing.
Well, I mean, just for what he was saying about when you're trying to talk parents into esports, it's not really a tough sell anymore. And we jokingly said, like, football going away. Well, you can't have Madden without the NFL. You can't have NBA 2K. No, I know you were.
Anyway.
But it's important. Like right now, there's a job posting out there. Toronto Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment is looking for a general manager for their NBA 2K. So this is a legitimate job, working for Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, who own the Toronto Raptors, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, cool.
Right? Who wouldn't want to go? Like, who wouldn't want to be a Raptor or Maple Leaf if you're in that sport? Well, now you could be the general manager for their E-League team, right? Their esports team.
And they need hosts. They need people to interview people. I'm just saying, right?
Well, and these are all jobs that we're going to
right.
need people knowledgeable. So when you show parents that the followers behind these things are, you know, more engaged than your traditional follower of a traditional sport, and then when you say, so our varsity players, this is our Overwatch team, and here kind of scattered out playing. They were playing in TESPA this year, and TESPA offered $1 million in scholarships this year for all of the different titles they had. The Collegiate Star League, $300,000 in scholarships available. And ULOL, so the new, like for League of Legends is going to go through ULOL this year. Last year I think it was $120,000 prize pool for the first 8 teams. So lots of money being offered. But I'm just
money makes everything real, doesn't it?
For sure. So since we're hitting these numbers, this is kind of what I had under our varsity team. So this is kind of where we're at in this segment, I guess.
Yeah,
so
fire away.
Skip down here. So you know, like Overwatch, we didn't really advertise our team in time, right? Like we launched our varsity sports teams back in like June, July, but it was after people would have already applied to come to Lambton. So we didn't have people apply to Lambton to be on those teams. We had people come to Lambton and then say, oh, I can be on that team.
Right.
So there's a big difference. We weren't necessarily competitive in those titles this year, but we actually had pretty good teams in my opinion, based on what I just said about not having, there's a big difference between having people come to compete and people who can compete. So our Overwatch team was 500 on the season. I mean, that's still pretty good competing against other schools in North America.
Well,
right?
Considering like you just got started and others had like that big advantage, like you said, you know, they've already been doing this a while. I think that's off to a good start.
Yeah, no scholarships offered, nothing to really entice them. They just showed up to Lambton College, and we actually have one of the guys on our team is Grandmaster in Overwatch. So, I mean, we just have some good players.
That might bring to this point of the passion, right? You know, you say like these people just came along just because. There's a lot of passion that goes into these games and the playing and you know the dedication and everything. I mean, there's always that fun factor. I mean, I'm a Rocket League guy, sort of. I'm kind of learning that, because I can only use 2 buttons at a time. But these other ones here, like, there's a lot of stuff going on there, right? Do you play any of these games, Eric?
I don't play them anywhere near at the level that these guys play.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand how much practice that they need to actually get to these levels, because it's incredible, and they're playing a lot of time, right? So it's just like any other sport where they actually need to practice a lot, and that's what you're getting at there. So yeah.
And get your strategies in place, and there's a lot of this going on. I'm thinking the mindset and the mentality.
Yeah.
How much does that play into all of this?
There's research done at UCI already, so University of California, Irvine, and they're showing things where it relates back to STEM, right? So your science, technology, math, just the activity that you're using in your brain when you're playing these games for the memorization and things like that. Like there's valid, good reasons to do this and to be on a team and play with your peers, your friends.
That's probably why I'm just playing Rocket League.
So, well, and you mentioned Rocket League. We are hoping, we're hoping that next year we can. I saw a comment up there. The next year we'll have like a Rocket League team, maybe a PUBG team. We'll see where that even goes as far as if there's going to be teams for that. And then we want to also add consoles. We only started with PCs this year, so we're hoping to add things like Call of Duty and things like that too. So.
You want to say something?
Oh yeah, just it's not that people sit and zone out in front of the computer or anything. Yeah. It's intense. It's really intense.
Absolutely it is. And they take it home with them. It's their passion. They live this stuff, right? It's full time for many. I just want to jump back here for just a moment and say hello to everybody. If you're just joining us here, we're coming to you live from Lambton College at the new Lambton College Esports Arena. We're talking with Eric and Rick Brown from our IT department. Coming up in just over 10 minutes time, we're going to have YouTube content creator Aaron Esser joining us here, and he's going to bring a lot to the table to talk about what it is like to be a content creator and how you could maybe take advantage of being a content creator as well. Let's talk a little bit more, guys, about the systems here behind us. I know there was a lot of sponsorship and support involved. I know obviously Twitch was involved, Logitech was involved. I got these really comfy chairs. I keep, if I can figure a way to tuck one of these under my coat on out the door, I'll do that. But maybe should mention a few of the people that are getting support.
Yeah, so the chair you're sitting in, eBlue Gaming, they helped us out from the start. I met them at the Consumer Electronics Show in January last year and saw their setup. So the desks behind us and the chairs we got from eBlue. Logitech, the wording is they're a proud sponsor. Or sorry, what did I say? Sponsor? I was like the ones I'm not supposed to say. They're a proud supporter of Esports at Lambton College, and they have been, whatever. They gave us a lot of stuff, so every one of these computers now has Logitech keyboard, mouse, headset, mouse pad, and every one of our 20 varsity players also got that.
That was amazing.
Huge. It was amazing, yeah. Exotic, we kept battling it out between was it going to be AMD or Intel, and those things don't really matter, but we've got Ryzen.
Wait a minute, okay. For those who may be watching, because I get confused a little bit with all this lingo, like the letters and stuff, but you're talking about processors.
Processor, so we went with an AMD processor. It's an 1800X, so Ryzen processor. It's crazy. 32 gigs of RAM.
So you could put a man on the moon with one of these things.
Yeah, I think
a few times, yeah.
A couple of times.
GeForce 1080 Ti graphics cards, super clocked. They're overkill, right? Yeah. But if you were going to use, so again, this is like a LAN center too, where you're going to come and pay to play. So if you're going to come and pay to play, then you're paying for an experience. And then what we really tried to do is we wanted to take any kind of anything away from the varsity players, so they don't have to worry about it. So they know that their gigabit connection to our 10 gig fiber, I can throw these numbers out there, these crazy speeds that we have going on these crazy computers.
I want to move. I want to live at Lambton College.
So anyway, so exotic for sure.
Speaking of, sorry to jump in there, you talk about some of the players back here, and you want to give people an experience. Talk about the rates that are here and available. This is available to the public to come in here to Lambton College and have the esports experience. Who wants to take that on? Eric, you're so quiet.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, we have group rates. People can rent out the arena, like the full arena space, and they would get 2 hours in the arena and then an hour down in the den. So if you wanted to have a birthday party or like a corporate get-together, you can do that.
When he says the den, the campus bar is just below us. So
it's right below.
It's a popular area.
It's closed right now.
Yeah.
It's a very conveniently located spot. So yep, you can rent by the hour. So students have it's $4 an hour rate for coming in to play.
Okay.
So you get an hour of playtime for $4. It's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Our producer and director is reminding me to talk about League Unlocked a little bit more too.
So yeah, I have a contract actually in my pile here. We just officially signed it. I think.
What is League Unlocked first?
It's I got to build up to.
Okay, all right.
Settle
He's telling
down.
me to shut up.
Settle down, Dave.
It's okay.
So yeah, like starting in March or April, like one of the very first things that we wanted to do, the CSL retweeted about us having this new varsity team, and then I was like, I heard UCI, University of California Irvine has this League Unlocked, and everybody's like, yeah, good luck. Good luck getting that. So when we asked everybody we've been talking to that we know in the industry that we've been working with, they're just good luck. Like it's a tough thing to get. Well, Riot did reach out to us, and we've been working with them for the last few weeks, and we literally just signed the contract with them. So starting soon, we will have League Unlocked available in the arena when people come to use it. So League of Legends, you have to play a long time to unlock all of the champions. If you come to Lambton College and play, because you're paying to play a free game, they entice you by offering you bonuses on your IP and XP, so you earn it faster, and you get all of your champions unlocked right away. So when you go home, you still get to keep your XP and things like that, but you lose all the champions. So again, it entices people.
So that's really big news here for the arena. Like that's huge, right? And so to all those people that said good luck, what do you want to say to them?
Thanks. Thanks for wishing me luck. We got it, so.
Good luck with all that. Well, that's really exciting, and I think that just adds even more to what we're talking about here tonight. If you're just joining us, we're here live at Lambton College at the Esports Arena, and we've got some very special guests coming up here, and we've got some more chatter here for about the next 8 minutes. But Aaron Esser, who is a YouTube content creator, is going to be talking with us about content creation, and we're going to share some of his stuff as well. And I think he's probably got a couple of announcements that he's going to share with us as well. So very exciting things here. We want to say thank you to Twitch for featuring us here on the main page of Twitch. This is a huge deal right now. And again, this is just one more thing. All these things keep being added into what's happening, certainly here at Lambton College, but in the esports world. And we're really just scratching the surface on all of this. I know we want to talk too a little bit more.
Let's get Eric into the community stuff. He's been a big piece of that.
Yeah. We want to. That's where we want to go with the community and involvement with the community here locally, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it kind of starts from kind of the very beginning concept here of having a glassed-in room, and we didn't put this room in the basement or away from everything. In fact, right behind the little studio that we've made here is the cafeteria, and you walk right through here, right to this lounge to get down to the den. So we started by making an open space, and that was on purpose. We didn't want to hide any of our varsity players away.
Right.
So from the community standpoint, then what we've done is we've reached out to different community organizations, and we want to work with them to make this kind of like a cool place to be.
Right.
And it's been a really, really easy sell. I mean, you just tell them, hey, you have kids that want to do stuff. Do they want to do this kind of stuff? And they're like, yeah, this would be awesome. So they can hold little events in here, even if you had like I mentioned, the corporate parties or whatever.
Right.
But from the community standpoint, we can hold any kind of event in here and bring them in, and kids can have fun, and it's just really easy.
And I know that, and that's a great idea. I mean, giving back to the community. I mean, the college itself has always been a supporter of being involved in the community. So you're able to do that. with the support. But you know, in order to do that, we need you to come out and play some games, have some fun here in the arena. But I know I'm seeing here, I think it was Big Brothers Big Sisters. We've already had a couple of things here with them, and Rebound.
Yep. So anyone that we've talked to, whether it was Big Brothers, Boys and Girls Clubs, Huron House Boys Home, Sarnia Lambton Rebound, like you said, everybody's been interested. Big Brothers Big Sisters is working on an event that they want to hold here. And yeah, like I said, it's just been easy thing to communicate with them about, and it's a modern thing. It's a thing that there's not always a lot of stuff to do around town. So.
Well, you know, you bring up the word communicate, and I think that's important. You know, when we're talking with some of these community organizations like Big Brothers and Huron House Boys Home, they're dealing with a lot of youth in the community, and this is like a tool to speak to them, right? You know, it's their thing, you know, so they understand. And it's something that the youth can get excited about.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I think the big piece of this is when you look at, and I hate to be stereotypical because that's another big thing about esports, but when you think about the kids that utilize those services, usually college isn't the first thing that's in their mind. So that's bringing them to the college is just huge right there, right?
Yep.
That they get to see that and that they, you know, might be able to do that.
It might seem unachievable,
right?
But here, in connecting with them and that communication, that engagement, that can seem really possible to them, which can give them a lot of hope and a lot of faith in themselves to move forward onto new things, right?
Yeah, they get to see kind of this cool thing that you can do in college, and that's not always easy. So they get to see something modern, cool, and it's in a college environment. They immediately see, oh, there's like hundreds and hundreds of people here that are going to learn something and try to be something. So I can do that too.
And the different opportunities. Again, we keep coming to that word opportunity. And I know when you had one of the groups in here, one of the things, I think you mentioned it, Rick, was conversation we had with, you know, they were in here playing, and even the friends that were there watching, they were cheering on their guys. It was like, you know, it's like going to a basketball game or something and cheering on for your team. That has a lot to do with what's going on here too.
Yeah, that was Eric at a birthday party.
Okay.
So there were hockey players, right? So it was like basically a team of hockey players came in, had a birthday party.
It's the only hockey I could play.
It's another playing Rocket League, and still that team camaraderie of cheering each other on and getting behind them while they're playing, and that's what esports is. Like, it's easy to either watch from home, it's accessible, right? Or you can actually go to the venue and cheer on your teams and watch them play, right? So.
Perfect. Well, once again, we say hello to all of you watching us as we're featured here tonight on the Twitch main page, and it's really exciting things again. Also, you can click on that follow button for the Lambton College, Lambton Esports. I know I'm also hosting it on my channel, TVSN World. For those who don't know me, I'm David Burrows from the Video Show Network here in Sarnia, and happy to be working here and having some fun here tonight with our friends from the IT department. It's Eric and Rick Brown. And coming up in about 2.5 minutes time, we keep getting closer. Aaron Esser is going to be here. He's the very well-known YouTube content creator. And what's exciting about that, we mentioned it earlier, he's a Lambton College alumni, right?
Yeah.
And he's doing really, really big things here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're hoping to keep going, right? So anything we can do to help him, and
that was before this program. Let's mention that again.
Yeah,
he took the digital photography course. Program. And he is taken, I guess we can probably talk a little bit about Aaron, Call of Duty and Nerf guns, and put them together and made some really incredible, you've watched a lot of this stuff, right?
I've watched it. I've got a lot of one-liners, but they're all his one-liners, and I want to not take away from it, so we'll wait for a couple minutes to get them out there. But I mean, yeah, I watch his. I have a 7-year-old, and he wants to be a YouTuber when he grows up, or a content creator of some sort. Just the term out there is always YouTuber, right?
Yeah. And that's a profession.
And that's the one-liner I'm going to steal. Is he's like, my biggest fans are 8-year-olds, but what's wrong? There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah,
and he's like,
I did promise. Well, this is one thing when you have control of the mic. I did promise my son Jason that I would mention that he was actually in one of Aaron Esser's movies that was made here at a location here in Sarnia, and he played a zombie. So it was really cool. And of course, I had to watch the whole thing just because my son was in it. But I found what was really interesting about it is what a lot of content creators are doing, but typically, certainly with Aaron Esser, is he takes his passion for the gaming world and the Nerf world and then puts it all into, and it's like so detailed. Like if you watch any of these games, like right down to the hand movements and everything, like it's got to take a lot of work. It's not just, you don't just make that movie. That 20-minute movie takes days, weeks.
I was just gonna say, without the likes of YouTube or streaming like Twitch, we wouldn't get to see that kind of content necessarily. It might be put on a VHS and stored in the family. So now anyone can do this kind of thing. Is pretty cool.
And it's go ahead.
I was just talking, so I see Garvey on there saying it's our pleasure. So thanks again, Garvey, from Twitch. I was talking to them today about the program, and it's like when we have students take our program and learn about content creation, there is no wrong kind of content. Who did Aaron think he was going to get 1 million subscribers on YouTube when he made a Nerf gun video for the first time? Sure he did. It was probably a dream, right?
Yeah.
But so there's no wrong content. It's you do what you love, and your passion's going to show through that, and then people who have those same kind of passions or interests are going to follow you anyways and want to see that.
And the tools are available, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But we're at that time. He's standing behind right now, so we'll just get him in here. Aaron Esser is going to just come on in here, Aaron, and sit down and grab a microphone. Yeah, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. There's a microphone just for you beside you on your chair there. Aaron, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome
really
that we've got you, because I know you're a busy guy. This is one of the things that doing what you love has been allowed you to do. You just got back from China, I believe.
Yeah, I was in China for 2 weeks. A company flew me out there, so
yeah,
it was quite the experience.
And you've made a lot of friends through this as well. I mean, I know you had forgive me if I don't remember his name, but the movie from Australia somewhere?
Atlanta, actually.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, one of my good friends is from Atlanta. He is also another Nerf YouTuber.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So, yeah.
And
we went to China for 2 weeks together, so.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that this has led you to do is be able to travel around the world, meet some new people, and follow your passion.
Yeah. The cool thing about like Twitch and YouTube is you can pretty much do it anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
As long as you have a computer or a laptop or whatever, you pretty much can do it anywhere. So that's, yeah.
Did you really, and Rick sort of just mentioned it a few minutes ago before we brought you on, did you really see yourself at 1 million+ subscribers? Was that a goal you had, or you must have had some goals out there?
I think I got it quicker than I expected, but I definitely knew it was possible because I saw other people, and people that were younger than me, even kids, who were getting these videos with millions of views, and I was like, that's really cool. I bet I could do that. And compared to some of these people, I think I can do it even way better and way more creative. So if they can do it, I can do it. And I always tell people that too. I'm like, if I can do it, you can do it. Yeah. So like, especially, yeah. I would see Nerf gun videos with millions of views, and I go,
that's horrible.
If it was done Nerf gun game style, that would be like huge. So then, yeah, and then videos took off. My first video that really made me consider myself a YouTuber, I shot it like 2 summers ago, and then I was like, in a year from now, I want this video to have 1 million views. And then when the year came up, it had 7 million views.
That's just
and it was just like, okay, we did it. And then I was hanging out with my friends all that weekend. I was like, hey guys, remember I said 1 million views? It's like, it got 7 million views, so it worked. It worked.
Yeah. See, and those numbers, you just think like, how is that even possible? But we'll talk about that a little bit more. We've got a video clip here that we're going to play, but I'm going to let Rick here introduce it.
Just 2 things first though. So, and no disrespect to Nerf by any means, but they haven't given you anything. Like, you just did this because you wanted to do it, right? Like,
yeah.
So.
I just like Call of Duty, like video games, and
how many
Nerf guns. Nerf guns are a great prop. I have about 400 now.
Just a few.
Yeah, and they continue to go up. Actually, Nerf for the first time contacted me about 2 months ago.
Okay.
Not with like a crazy like we're gonna fly you out or anything, but they just offered me a deal like, hey, we will send you some stuff if you make a video. But whenever you do things with like that at a company, there's always like stipulations and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet.
Right.
But
cool,
but Nerf contacted me. Nerf did contact me.
Cool.
Yeah,
So I appreciated it from that. So it's cool to be noticed. As they emailed me like, hey Aaron, we know you're an influencer.
Nice.
We're considering doing this. So it felt good. It was very nice of them to finally do that.
And that's a key word. You say they're influencer because you do have an impact on viewers, right? You know, I mean that's got to be something you take into consideration when you make these videos as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's go over and let's get that video up there. Rick, do you want to introduce this here?
Yeah, so we've got a quick little clip here of one of Aaron's videos. It's the PUBG video that he made. So this was back in July, I think.
Yeah, back in the summer. July is probably right. Nerf meets PUBG, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds in real life.
All right.
Detail though, where so So right off the hop he lands, and this is like when your parachute comes off. And then you can see the things, like you have the map in the corner, and obviously that's the property you're on.
Yeah, it's a Google Earth image, actually.
And then you even took some damage there in the fight, so that was cool. And then we cut it off. We just had a quick little clip there. But even when you go up to the door, you had taken the image out of the game where it's like press F to open the door. So you kept it very.
I think I designed it all in Photoshop. I like had the actual game on the one screen, and then I on another monitor, like just like in Photoshop, tried to find the closest text and try to mimic it. Yeah. Okay. You definitely want to try to get, for my videos at least, if it's Nerf meets Call of Duty, Nerf meets PUBG, I always feel you got to get the feel of the game in the video. So when people who play the game watch the video, that's exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is. And when other people try to do like live action video game videos or a video like that, and they don't have that, you watch it, the person who plays the games goes, that's not correct. I saw someone do a live action Overwatch video, and I was watching and I was like, that's not how the game works. And like, I could just tell that everybody else who would watch the video felt the same thing. Right. So obviously you don't always get it perfect, but you try your best, and the closer you get to it, I think people connect with it.
Your viewers will be the critics, right? For sure.
And they're not shy; they'll let you know, right? In the
comments. They'll tell you in the comments.
And it's real life. I mean, with that, you're actually taking the time, you're producing it. But when we're talking about like the streaming live, we're live right now. People are gonna let us know what they think. The chat's there.
Did I wear the wrong jacket? I'm sorry. Aaron, I want to ask you, and this wasn't quite on the agenda, but it's part of content creation.
Okay.
And I'll ask you to take us through a little bit, as much time as we have, about the process. What about copywriting? I mean, this is a big thing in video world, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, right down to the music, to using logos, all that stuff. How aware do you have to be when you're making a video?
I think for some people it's a lot bigger of a deal than me. For people who like do React videos and things such as that would be a big deal. I use all royalty-free music that I pay for, so that's not an issue. Everything I use in my videos, I film myself, unless it's like a 2-second clip from someone else's video, and it's just like 2 seconds, and it would just 100% just to like add to the situation, but it wouldn't be taking their content at all. It would just be like a reference or something like that. The only thing I would ever be worried about is like Nerf trying to steal my copyright. That's ours. That's our logo. That was
the video game.
Arguably they could do that actually, and arguably the video game companies could do that as well. But that would be like getting rid of like the best free advertisement they could ever do. So yeah, arguably they could do it. I don't think they ever would though. So, and if it ever did happen, then you just have to change your content. It would be blaster gun game instead of Nerf gun game or something like that. But I don't think that'll ever happen because for the most part it works out for the people that you're
Nerf gets mentioned 7 million times in one video.
Taking the conquer, yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking they should be paying you for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say there's a pretty strong backlash usually when companies do try to come after. I know Nintendo did that, I think, a couple years ago.
Ouch.
They started coming after people who were putting Nintendo games on YouTube. And there was a very strong community backlash. So obviously there's people want the content, and I think companies now know that. So you get a little bit more freedom, I think.
That was recently with the Switch when the new Zelda game came out. Like the first weekend, all the videos got removed, and everyone was like,
"Really?
Really? Okay, that was just like free advertisement for everyone who was going to buy that game. Everyone was excited for it, right? Now, legally, they have a right to do that. So if they want to do that, that's their problem. So I guess
we're not mad at Nintendo.
We're not mad at them. It doesn't make sense.
We're giving away an SNES Classic in our contest we're going to announce. So we're not mad at you, Nintendo.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
we're not mad. Just
And if they don't like it, we can just go watch an Aaron Esser video, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Take us through the process. I mean, I know what I've watched. A lot of your videos are about 20 minutes long.
Some of them are, yeah.
Some are a little bit longer. What's the average time it takes you? Like, let's take one of the 20-minute videos. How long would it take you to put that together, start to finish production?
For my main videos, I actually release them in parts of about 5 to 10 minutes each, and they're each around 3 to 5 minute parts. So that's like 4 or 5 weeks go by, release each part individually, and then I release the full version, the full film or all of the first-person shooters connected. Sometimes months. For sure. My biggest project I ever did took me about 6 to 9 months. I built props. It was Nerf meets Call of Duty Zombies. Spent months building all the props, spent a full week shooting, and spent a full month editing, like 8 hours a day. So that's like the most extreme, like 9 months, like grinding hard. Other videos are just like shoot in like an hour in my Nerf room, and then it takes like 2 or 3 hours to edit. So, and then anywhere in between, yeah.
And the more you do, I mean, editing is obviously, I know for myself doing some as well, it's the biggest part of getting everything together.
For sure.
And the most time that it takes to align things up, the sound and all that stuff. Now, you took the digital photography program here at the college. How much did you take away from that and apply to what you're doing right now?
The main thing I actually took from that was Photoshop. I use Photoshop every day. For all the overlays and all of my videos, that's all designed in Photoshop. All the thumbnails are designed in Photoshop. Cover arts, everything. All my Instagram stuff is all in Photoshop. And the program here, the professor, Richard Belland, like, is really good at Photoshop, and he taught like the course for Photoshop each semester, and like it was fantastic, and I use it every single day. So
and what a great honor and privilege to have David teaching you.
Yeah, oh, it's great.
Like he's done so many great things in that world.
Yeah, and Richard, I think, was on the last tour with the Tragically Hip and stuff too. He did all their album art and stuff, or like when they're on stage. Like Richard's got a huge like rock band. I think he's won Junos and things like that. So the talent that we have at Lambton College, there's a nice little plug.
But
for sure. I want to
plug
plug Aaron. He had a little post right before the stream here about your gear.
Yeah, my merch.
Your merch.
YouTuber selling merch. Every YouTuber selling merch now.
Yeah. Well, that's all part of it.
15% off till Christmas.
Yeah.
You get it out there. Come
on.
If
you want to go to aaronesser.com/shop, you can check out my merch. I'm not wearing it right now. I was before I sat down.
I'm disappointed you didn't come in and shoot me with a Nerf gun.
I should have. I brought it. I could have. You know what? I should have done it. I should have.
Still have time. He's gonna hang around.
Yeah, we were going to be all unexpected that he was showing up shooting us, but he's in the, the list of events.
Only reason I wore my glasses is to protect my eyes.
You don't shoot a guy with glasses, is that what you think?
No, just my eyes.
Protect his eyes.
I want to know what's next for Aaron Esser. What do you have planned coming up in the short term or long term?
That is a good question. I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Okay.
I have tons of little videos I'm shooting, update videos, little Nerf wars here and there with a bunch of different Nerf guns and other products that companies have sent to me.
Well, I heard a rumor. I got notes here, something about a paintball episode.
That is true. Yeah, that is a rumor. Yeah.
What's that?
He's the guy to ask for that.
Okay,
I'm very interested in being part of it, though, for sure.
Yeah. Okay,
so it's very early stages, and we talked about it on the show we had on your station as well. But in my golf league, I golf with a fellow on the OPP, so the Ontario Provincial Police, and we just thought it would be fun one day to have the police services come in. So we do this for charity, because again, we keep talking about community and the involvement here, not just esports, varsity, and things like that. So we'd have the police come in here and sit over here and play Counter-Strike against our varsity team, and they would probably get crushed, right? I mean, who knows? I don't know what kind of hours they're logging at their consoles as well, or their computers.
But they could have some hardcore gamers. You never know.
It's it's amazing the depth of gamers, like the spread that we get out there. So anyways, have them come in and play some games, and in the afternoon we go out and play some paintball. So we get like a 20v20, everybody wearing GoPros. Get this guy to come in. We said you could fly the drone to get the aerial shots for us or something.
I'm an avid paintball.
No one's gonna shoot the drone.
No one's gonna shoot the drone. So we go out and again just try and raise some money for charity with the police services and get our varsity team involved.
You shot him.
Yeah.
And Aaron's shown like he's more than interested. This is the second time he's come to support us in person. He came to our opening in September. He's here now. So sorry, where are you from, Aaron?
Right here in Sarnia. I live like 5 minutes down the road.
Right.
We've only just got a couple minutes left here before we move on to James Kozacek. And Aaron, thanks again so much for coming in here and talking to us. I wish we had more time. I'm sure we can get you in here again. I remember the first time I saw one of your videos, and it was at there was a big gathering at a local church here in town, and there was a lot of support out there. And I took my son because he's a big fan of yours. And I really didn't know what to expect. I thought, okay, here's this young guy making videos, right? How cool is that? And it was really, really impressive, and your passion really shows through in all your videos. What would you say, and I know this is kind of a cliche question, but what would you say to someone who's thinking about getting started? Obviously get started, but how does one get started doing what you do and then get to that level?
Just start, first of all. I released my first Nerf video, at least when I was like 15. and I didn't release another one until I was about 21. But those whole 6 years, I watched other people release Nerf videos, and I said, then, because they would always show up in my recommended tab because I released that one Nerf video. And I would see these videos being successful and getting millions of views, and my video had gotten like 40,000 views for no reason. I had no idea why. But there was that niche there, and I always knew it, and it took me so long to get started. It took me 6 years. So I wish I had just kept going when I was 15. Yeah. So just if you're young, just do it. Just get started and be consistent. Be consistent. That's the number one thing that I hear from other YouTubers and creators, and I would say the same thing. Be consistent. Just upload once a week, or every day, or once a month, whatever it is. Pick something and just do it.
Keep going.
Did you create your new Twitch account that you were talking about doing?
I did, but I didn't do anything with it yet. So.
We're going to see him on Twitch.
People will probably go on and try. You do have a Twitch account that's it's Aaron Esser, right, that you created before, but now you have a new one.
Yeah.
So if you want people, there's people here. So what's your
tell everybody
Twitch?
How to find you and watch you and wherever you're at.
Aaron Esser for everything. YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter is just Aaron, Esser. I always say Aaron Esser. And my Twitch is Stratosphere. If anyone's gonna go search that STRATOS PH33R Stratosphere. That's my gamer tag. So.
Perfect. One more quick question.
Yeah.
Are you a gamer?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
mostly a console gamer, but I within the last 6 months have finally switched to PC. I'm not very good yet, but I'm all right.
Yeah. You got a chicken dinner.
I've gotten 2 solo chicken dinners, 7 kills each, and I'm very proud of it. Yeah, it took me way too long to get because I'd never done mouse keyboard until playing PUBG.
And you got a bunch on Fortnite.
Perfect.
I am a console player on Fortnite, PS4, and I have lots of victory royales.
Yeah, someone was asking for Nerf and Fortnite combo there.
That is something I want to do, but I have to figure out how to do it to make it even remotely.
Make yourself in cartoon.
It's cartoon, and it's just
good,
so
You've
different.
got lots of people watching, so if you got an idea for Aaron Esser, connect with him. And we do have to move on. But Aaron, thank you once again so much for being here. Appreciate you coming.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much, guys.
And I think what got him here was I said he could go play some PUBG when he was done. So.
I'm definitely gonna go play Overwatch or PUBG
Aaron's
right
gonna
now.
stick around here at Lambton College. All right. Well, guys, I mean that's really exciting. You know, Aaron Esser joining us here today. Any other remarks before we move on?
I think that's what we expected. Aaron's just a great guy. He's helped us out from day one, and it's great. He's from Sarnia. He's here in the community, and we're happy to have him whenever we can. So
and I think one of the great things he said about to anyone who's thinking about doing, just start. If you don't know how to start, like there's so many resources out there. I mean, YouTube it, right? I'm a graduate of YouTube University. I don't know.
LambtonCollege.ca.
LambtonCollege.ca. I was saying we could throw that in there. You know,
all right, so.
It just shows a lot's possible, and especially now with the new program. For those of you who are watching us here right now, we are coming to you live at Lambton College here at the new Lambton Esports Arena, and we thank you for watching. And take a moment and visit the Esports channel, Lambton Esports on Twitch, and click the follow button. And if you feel like, you can go over to mine too, at TVS7 World. I've got a channel here on Twitch. Click the follow button there as well. We do have to move on. I think, are we ready in the lounge there? Yeah, okay. Coming on here now, James Kozacek. I hope I said that right, James. We'll bring him on now if we get a chance.
How's it going,
Hello, James.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Perfect. How are you guys?
Good, thanks.
We're good. So, I'm having trouble hearing.
Yeah, the audio is just really low for us, so we're just gonna see if we can adjust that for you.
Well, we'll move forward, and I know Sean will try to get things fixed up there for us.
I think we're just gonna turn.
Your hearing's probably better than mine anyway.
Yeah.
Just like mine.
I'm gonna literally walk out of this.
All right, Eric's gonna fix that. It's not affecting the stream though, James. Don't worry. So people can see you, people can hear you. It's just us, the audio in here. I think the first thing we wanted to talk about was where are you from? Like you have family in Sarnia, things like that, right? We know you're down in Orlando right now, but just give us some info about you.
So I was born up in Brantford, actually, so about 45 minutes east of Sarnia. But all of my family was originally kind of born and raised out in Sarnia, so I've been there a lot.
And sorry, where are you now?
Yeah, so eventually I moved down to Orlando, kind of when I was younger. So I've been here for the last 10, 15 years or so, a little bit too long.
But we had you back in September. You came and helped us with the opening and the launch. It was good to see you.
Yeah, sorry. So let's talk about NCAA Esports. Is what is NCAA?
No, it's the actual
What did I say?
collegiate academics or
Yeah,
athletics
okay.
in the
See, I don't know
Anyways,
these
Yeah, no
little-
worries. I shouldn't have put it as
the
an acronym.
letters. That's
Sorry.
his fault.
All right, go ahead, Jim.
Didn't sound like a
Yeah, sorry.
political group. Talk about that and what that is.
Sure. So the NCAA is the kind of the governing body for collegiate sports in the United States. Although I think there might be a Canadian institution or two. But essentially, they're like the OCAA that kind of governs Lambton College's athletics program. But they're kind of more wide-reaching. So kind of what I'm doing right now is our goal is to just provide research and talk to students, right? So our goal is that there's all of these programs that are existing, like Lambton College, like UC Irvine in California, like Robert Morris University in Chicago. You know, I could go on and on and on with Utah, but there's all of these programs that are kind of cropping up right now, and kind of as the de facto like sports organization or collegiate sports organization in the States. They just want to kind of understand what's happening so that later on, if there is kind of an idea of maybe we should get involved, they can kind of think about that. So we're reaching out to students, teachers, administrators, you know, guys like Rick, like anybody that can kind of tell us their thoughts, feelings, ideas, so that we can kind of compile all this information together.
Right. What kind of feedback are you getting when you're doing this? Like, are there any challenges along the way?
Well, we haven't really started too much yet. I just got into this role like a week ago. So, I mean, I've been talking to to all of those people that I listed before, you know, over the last few years that I've been involved in esports. So, I mean, we'll see, right?
When you worked with TESPA for a few years and CSL back in the day too, and
Yep.
so you have, we're in the CSL shirt.
Yeah, so originally I worked with the CSL, the Collegiate Star League. They were, or they still are, like one of the largest collegiate esports organizations, you know, that exists. So they run competitions for basically every single game out there. So I worked with them from 2012 to maybe 2014, kind of helped them introduce a few new games like League of Legends and Dota 2 into the fold, and eventually I started working with my university instead, and started working with, you know, high school groups, and then I joined TESPA, so these guys over here, just decking out all the swag today. And, you know, I've been working with them to kind of do the same thing, so to work more specifically with colleges or students that are a little bit more heavily involved that are building clubs on their campus. Eventually, you know, I've been starting to work with programs, as I mentioned, Robert Morris, UC Irvine, you know, and we got Lambton College, although I don't think it's gonna fit. I can't go that swag today.
Yeah,
sorry.
swag.
But, yeah, so from there, just working with programs.
Right.
So I'm just going to back it up for a second.
Yeah.
So, like when we first started doing research into esports and where we were going to go, I just picked up the phone and called Kurt Melcher. So Kurt Melcher, the Godfather of Collegiate Esports, is what I'm going to call him because that's
My boss now.
really right. So when you think of collegiate esports, like Robert Morris University now gives out $1.2 million in scholarships for esports athletes at their school. So that's one school giving that out. Right, that's pretty huge.
Yeah.
So I gave him a call, just said, you know, how are you running things down there? What kind of equipment do you have? What teams do you have? And by the way, can like 6 of us fly down there and come and see your space? And he said, absolutely. So we went down, we actually got to see what they were doing. We met a bunch of players on their team, talked to him a little bit, and then we actually met with their administration because even tomorrow we actually have a call with them. We're actually trying to set it up so that when students take our esports program here, they can maybe transfer to Robert Morris University to get a degree. So that's a phone call happening tomorrow, so I'm excited about that, and probably shouldn't be saying it, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's been said.
It's been said. We've been working on it for a while, and they're open to it, so I mean, I don't think it's a problem to say we're talking about it, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just another huge thing that students coming from Lambton could potentially get scholarships that way, and it's I mean, we don't want to see students leave by any means, but it is a great entry into the U.S. and the market space that is there.
But that being
So-
said, I think the purpose, or one of the purposes of any program at Lambton College or any college, is creating opportunity,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, it's
And
for the
that's
students.
not just staying; it's to broaden, spread the wings, so to speak.
Right.
James, I want, pardon me, James, I want to ask you on the production side of things. You know, I mean, We talk about esports, and we always, the forefront of that is always the game side of the visual of what we see. But on the broadcasting and production side of things, where do you see that? How far do you see that going? Or there's a huge opportunity there for, you know, I mean, we've got Sean behind us here putting this production together. We've got people who created the graphics. I mean, what are the opportunities there at your end?
Yeah, so first I'll kind of cycle back a little bit just to kind of bring in an anecdote there. So, you know, when Rick first initially reached out to Kurt, he mentioned, essentially I was, you know, within a month I was already talking to Kurt. We got into a car together, and then he immediately said, like, hey, yeah, so have you heard of these guys, Lambton College in Sarnia? They're looking for a Canadian.
Did you say LinkedIn?
I'm like, okay, well, that's obviously Sarnia, and that's Lambton College, but yeah, we can figure something out. As for production, though, so, I mean, content creation is huge, right? So kind of understanding how to better tell stories, how to better tell, you know, provide good experiences and positive experiences for students. Anything to kind of get the word out and to really, really drive home that this is something that is, you know, awesome and something that should be taken very seriously. So you look at guys like Esser that are building these, you know, followings as influencers. Like, they're a huge piece of kind of the culture of the future. A friend of mine mentions that, you know, back in the day, you know, when he was a kid, you know, he came home and he watched Scooby-Doo. Nowadays, his son comes home and watches Minecraft videos.
Yeah.
Like, or watches esports. Like, this is the new medium, right?
It's the new television, right?
That's it. So something that I've been saying for a while is that, you know, we're in this situation where, you know, guys like me, I'm never gonna buy a television, cable. Like, you can't advertise me on the internet because I'm using ad block. Like, there's no way to advertise me. It's like cable never generates. But you have guys like, again, Esser, OMG, Firefox. Like, you have all of these content producers and influencers and these esports athletes and just everybody that can connect to these individuals. They can actually, you know, make an impression on them.
Yeah.
So.
Now, you bring a good point there. You say you block the advertising and you're not going to see. So a question I hear a lot from people is, well, how do you, I know even just from doing my own shows and stuff, people go, how do you make money of this, right? So what's the monetization factor in all of this? And like, is that something you teach and bring into what you're doing at your end as well?
Yeah, so it's kind of understanding like the business opportunities that are out there. So, I mean, you have sponsorships, you have somebody coming in and saying, okay, well, you know, you sit down in front of this chair, play this game, and, you know, I'll throw you over a Corsair headset, and then boom, like, you know, here's a check. It's a lot more difficult than that, but, you know, end of the day, that's
what it comes down to.
You know, idea. Or, I mean, you have an arena full of gear that is based around different sponsors, you know, trying to help monetize and offset costs. Aside from that, you have things like, you know, like Aaron said, where, you know, Nerf was coming in and saying like, hey, maybe you can do a video about these new Nerf toys or weapons or whatnot. And, you know, we can promote that piece of content between both of us, and, you know, we'll give you kind of a chat or a cut of what's happening there. You have others where maybe like, you know, you're running like pre-roll advertisements. So like every single time that, you know, somebody opens up your stream or sees you, essentially, like a big advertisement for some product, you know, some more formal advertisement's gonna pop up. But I think, honestly, our next guest, Kevin from Twitch, will be able to talk about that a little bit more in depth than I can.
Yeah.
I wanted to get the segue I was making there earlier, and you picked up on it there, was with Kurt, when we were looking for a subject matter expert for our academic program, because we had an early relationship with him, we asked, like, you know, who can we pick who is Canadian, because we want this to kind of come back. Obviously, we're in Canada. So he said, oh, I got your guy, James Kozacek, and we got a hold of you. So that's kind of the big reason for you being here tonight. You're our subject matter expert in helping us create this academic program and putting the content together. So obviously the questions that Dave's asking you is good, showing your knowledge and your history of working in CSL and TESPA and now with Intersport and Kurt. Shows like how long you've been in the industry, the knowledge you have, the resources available to you, and as an extension to us now by launching this program. So anything that you wanted to touch on about working on this program? And that's about Garvey, not a boot. I see that in the text, sorry, up on the chat.
I'm glad you guys can read because I'm blind.
Yeah, I get that all the time. It's fine. Yeah, so I mean, the program's going to be fantastic in my mind. Like, the goal of this program is not, let's go out and learn how to be an esports pro, or, you know, like, it has to be something that by the end of the day, you will have a tangible skill that, you know, is employable, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the goal of all of Lambton College and basically the, you know, Canadian Community College program. So essentially the goal in my mind is, okay, so we have this entire new medium, these like this digital media, right? Of live streaming, video production, you know, like everything that I've been mentioning before, how ways to target that TV never generation. So like, how do we get at that? And the goal is to use something that people are really thrilled and interested in, which is esports, as a way to give them the insight and the tools to be able to create content, to be able to, you know, join that field or just otherwise get involved. So it's not an esports degree, it's a degree using esports to teach you really, really good tangible skills.
Fun and relevant, right?
That's it. That's how you teach.
Right? We teach well anyways, right? So
Fantastic. Well, James, thank you once again for joining us here. Any final comments before we have to move on?
Not so much for me. I mean, just kind of check out the program. Definitely keep your eye on it and keep an eye on what's happening at the arena. And I guess good luck to Kevin.
Thanks, James. And be sure to follow James at Internally Valid. I know he likes to tweet out now and again, so maybe we'll see some nice NCAA updates and things that you're working on with that. So best of luck with that, and say hey to Kurt for us.
Perfect. Thanks again, James. Take care. All right, James Kozacek joined us. That was interesting conversation because it kind of brought, you know, something to the other side of the coin of everything that's happening, and it shows the expansion too. You know, I mean, he's down in Orlando right now. You know, so this whole esports, there's so many doors to it. I know I keep coming back to it, but the doors of opportunity. I mean, what comes after trillion? I don't know what that is, but I failed math, but that's where this is going. Like, we're really just scratching the scratch on the scratch of the scratch of this, right?
Yeah, it's below the ground floor right now. There's because of everything being so connected nowadays. It's just like, you know, we're talking to James there in Orlando. I know this is really cliche, but we're on the internet and talking to everyone here. But those connections are really quick, and you can get places really quickly if you have the right stuff, basically. Yeah,
that's right. Well, let's move on here in just a moment. Just before we do, I want to say hello to you who might be joining us now. We're coming to you live at the Lambton College here at the new Lambton Esports Arena. And our guests here, Eric and Rick Brown, no relation. Can't see the resemblance still. And we're talking about esports and a lot of different things and the opportunities here at Lambton College and the esports program that we're going to get more in depth as well. But right now, we'll bring him on. He's from Twitch. He's a Twitch student. Kevin Hung. Thanks for joining us, Kevin.
Hi, guys.
How
you
you
guys
doing?
all doing?
Welcome.
Doing good, thanks.
Doing
Yourself?
awesome.
Kevin,
Well.
whereabouts are you?
I'm in Seattle right now, Seattle, Washington.
You say you're in Seattle right now. Does that mean you move around a lot, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I get caught doing that. So, yeah, between Seattle and LA quite often.
Right. So tell everybody just exactly what you do with Twitch and what kind of things you do on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'm an account manager at Twitch on the Twitch student program. I basically handle all things collegiate gaming and esports at Twitch. So anywhere from helping students with their club and unifying their gaming association to helping them make sense of what it takes to build like a varsity program, like what it takes to what it takes for a school like Lambton to get ahead, and just kind of be a resource for them and provide knowledge, support, and tools. And that's kind of how I see myself. We see ourselves as like the support player. So we let the schools and the students become the carry, and then we're just here making sure we feed them well.
Right. One of the things I noticed about Twitch, and I'm fairly new to Twitch, but rather quickly I noticed was how much Twitch seems to care about the content creator and the things that they seem to keep adding into, like in the dashboard, you know, we talk about the new achievement levels. Is that a fair statement to say about Twitch?
Yeah, we deeply care about our creators. All the tools that we're building, we don't build it in a dark room somewhere. We go out there and we listen, we take feedback. We have over 25,000 Twitch partners out there that we listen to, and those are the tools that we're building. We're building it for them, and now we're hopefully giving the same tools to students to become content creators themselves. I think it's really cool to be working in an industry where people can just turn on their mics and their webcam and turn on the game they want to play and create their own television show online and share their voice and their energy around the world. I think that's really cool, and I don't see ourselves building something outside of that in support of the creators.
Right. One of the things I noticed recently too, when you talk about creators on Twitch, I mean, Twitch was originally put together as a gaming platform, strictly for gamers, right? And that still seems to be a common or a large focus. But Twitch has recently opened up the door, I'll say, for people like myself who do talk shows, or people who are makeup artists. Is that going to continue to grow? And what was the reason for opening that door?
Absolutely. I guess like a little bit of history. Justin TV came out first, kind of being an open platform for all things live broadcasting. We didn't really have the right traction with that because it was just too broad and too general. And then we found out that, you know, there was only one thing that really thrived in Justin TV, and that was StarCraft. And it turned out that everyone in the company played StarCraft. And then they decided to double down on gaming until and really launched Twitch.tv in 2011 with a focus on gaming. And now with millions of people tuning in every single day, we have a community that's now asking for different types of content on Twitch. You know, we now have a community that really supports IRL, supports creative streams. You know, where artists can actually sit down and walk their audience through their creative process, or even learning how to code. We're seeing coders on Twitch now that are breaking down their code and the thought process behind what they're building and whatnot. So it's the other way around now, where the community is so big that we need to diversify the content, which is exciting to say the least. Yeah, very good. Rick, I want to go over to you and let's talk a little bit more about, and either one of you here, is about the connection between Lambton College and Twitch and the support that's been there.
Since day one, like we just got off the phone 5 hours ago, didn't we, Kev?
Yeah, we
So when you mentioned about Twitch being like a family, we literally had that conversation today. They're always there. They're always supporting us. We couldn't get her on the show today, but OMG, it's Firefox, the most followed female on Twitch, is also a former Lambton College student.
Yep.
And she was here for our opening. And if you go back through, we don't have it on our VOD list on Twitch, but on YouTube we have the video up of our opening, and she's on there saying that exact same thing, that like rate 2 Kevin, like I know I can call my guy up from Twitch and it's like a big family, and you go to TwitchCon and you just feel welcome there.
Yeah. Well, it's a support network too. That's I mean,
it's
nice to be able to pick up a phone and reach out and ask for help and support.
It's in everyone's best interest, and when you do it right, and you make it good for the people who are creating that content, they're going to want to create better content for you and for their followers.
Yeah, Eric, how would you add to that?
Yeah, the first time that I had met Garvey and you met Garvey was at CSL, right?
Yep.
So first time we meet Garvey is at CSL, and he's just like this incredible bundle of energy. He's just like, I'm going to help you this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. And I looked at Rick after, and like, holy cow, we just like
This
ran
whole
into
thing
it.
Was it an
It was
overwhelming
great.
feeling in the beginning too, to go, wow, like Twitch and the support there? Like I mean, overwhelming in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
To think you're talking
exciting.
to these guys that you kind of imagine you might one day meet or something like that. And I'm not even a huge gamer, but it was just like, wow, it's like Twitch, I'm talking to these guys right now. And you know, I can call Kevin up or I talk to him on Facebook all the time, whatever. Like, they're just always there.
Yeah.
But like, so this whole esports thing, when we started it, we also worked with our gaming community. We have a Lambton College gaming community group here of students that started, and we brought them with us to Toronto for the CSL finals. And when Garvey was talking, like, Eric's not exaggerating about the excitement that they show, because we had Mark Hill, one of the founding students, was like literally going like this every time Garvey said something. He was just that excited, right? Fist pumping.
Actual fist
I
bumps.
remember that.
Like,
Yep.
Kevin, it has to be exciting for you to be the position that you're in at this time. I mean, you know, Rick, you mentioned earlier, we're below ground level with all of this, or groundbreaking with all of this. Here's the question: 2 years from now, where do you see all of this with Twitch?
Oh man, we're gonna see so many students really getting involved in the gaming esports industry and really have a medium to do so. Whether it's through the varsity program, whether it's through taking gaming and esports classes. I think more and more programs like Lambton College will spawn. I think Lambton College will be a leader in this industry. I haven't seen a group of people work so hard to create such a program within 8 months. I mean, they were able to build this in 8 months. Like, that's pretty ridiculous. I've never seen a program like that, and I'm excited to be working with Lambton to making sure that they're taken care of and they're in the right place, and so they can go ahead and help other schools do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think in the next couple of years, I think we're gonna see more and more of these programs coming up, and that's really exciting to me. Because I didn't have that when I was a student, and so being able to create something like that and something that I actually wanted, you know,
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
two
I know
quick
when
things.
you were here. Sorry, go ahead.
Just when he said, "I wish I had that," reminded me we have a clip of.
Oh, okay.
So when Kevin was here, he had a nice little media on. It was just kind of, he wasn't expecting to get up and talk.
It was for the
but it was
opening, yeah.
really well said. So I just had, we have a clip here that we want to play in a second.
Okay.
And there's also some chat going on there. So Kbun Bun is Kevin in the chat saying "bundle of energy" at Garvey. Garvey's laughing out loud there. And then so Muggsy18 is Joel, and he's saying he was the student doing the fist bumps. So I thought it was Mark. It was Joel, the brothers there. So it's just funny.
See,
that,
they're watching. They're going to correct you,
You
right?
can see how engaging this is, right? So anyways, do you want to? Are we good
Yeah,
with the
let's
clip?
go to that clip
All right,
right
so let's
now.
watch this clip here, Kev.
Leading the charge, and Amazon Twitch stands by you guys. We're here every step of the way, and we're not just here for day one. We're here for the long term, because we're still going to be building things that make us say, "I wish I had that."
All right. They're
No, they might be hearing it.
no. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I remember that day being here. I was just off to the corner over here, Kevin, watching you talk, and I do remember clearly you saying incredible things about the program here at Lambton College, and you said, "I wish I had had something like this." If you had had something like this, where would it have taken you?
My parents would have supported me more, honestly. Jeez.
Why is that?
Because I would have other adults telling my parents that this was actually a thing, and just not looking up and saying, "Hey, can I do this?" You know. So that's probably the biggest friction. I think that's what we see with a lot of kids. Is like there's so much friction that gets started in the gaming esports industry. Your friends are telling you that's not cool. There's no really linear path to making it in the gaming esports industry.
Yeah.
What Aaron Esser was saying earlier was like, you know, he was just uploading videos, but he didn't know that, you know, if he uploaded once a week, now he does, but he didn't know that uploading once a week was going to get him where he was today.
Right.
School didn't teach you that, or didn't teach you that before. And we hope that schools like Lambton College can, you know, really start knocking on these doors and allowing students to start creating and really pursuing things that are outside the norm. Outside the norm, I mean by like traditional career paths, you know, get a degree, apply for this. But, you know, in esports and gaming, you really have to go do it yourself and, you know, be a go-getter. It's really hard at first, and I hope that, you know, college can be a medium to making that a little bit easier. And, you know, that's what I mean when I said I wish I had that.
Yeah, fantastic. Kevin, we're just wrapping up. We got a couple minutes left, but I know that you wanted to talk about something about Germany. Is that
yeah, well, it's just 2 quick points, basically. Yeah, Kevin had went to Germany. There's a big, there's a Gamescom in Germany there, Kev?
Yeah, Gamescom in Germany.
So, yeah, in our conversation today, and we were talking even earlier about how just esports in general or content creation, Twitch making everything accessible. So you see, what was it, 600 million viewers for the League Worlds this year, right? Like, anybody with a computer can turn that on, right, and watch it on Twitch. And then Twitch Student, you guys have a reach in every continent except for Africa and Australia right now that we talked about. So you guys are helping launch programs in all of these other continents.
Yeah, I think we're in over 18 countries right now. Just kind of taking it step by step at a time. And I think it's really exciting for you mentioned Germany. We were also in Portugal. We were in Brazil like last weekend. Kind of trying to, you know, work with the organizations there to help build international collegiate competitions. In the next few months, we're going to have Portugal versus Brazil, where the winners of the Brazilian team are actually going to be flying out and competing with the teams in Portugal. And I think what's really cool about this is not just the competition, but students from Brazil are actually going out and dining with the students in Portugal, and I think that's really cool. I think that's the thing that makes collegiate esports really exciting, is that it's not about the winning that matters as much. We'll soon get there. We'll soon get there where, you know, I'm a Husky, so I really don't like the Cougars. We'll soon get there, but right now I think it's the biggest takeaway is, like, you know, is really going out and traveling and really experience the world, and using gaming as a medium to do so. What James was saying earlier was, you know, gaming was the connective fiber, education is the end goal, you know? So education through experience is how
our biggest competitor actually said to us that you have to build something to fight over before you fight over it. So I think that's kind of what you're saying. Like, there's no point in us trying to fight with other schools and be toxic towards each other. What we need to do is actually grow this community and make it successful for everybody, right?
Yeah, and I'm glad like guys like Kurt were able to be such great resources for you. You know, I think Kurt sees the same way, sees it in the same way. And I think you're absolutely right with that. I hope you I hope later down the road when Lambton's in a better place, you don't just go, no, we're good. Kings Gaming can go figure it out themselves.
I don't know who you're talking about. Thanks for that, though.
All right, Kevin Hung, thank you so much for joining us. I know you got a busy schedule, so we appreciate you jumping in to the chat here and sharing everything that you're doing. And keep up the great work at Twitch. We're looking forward to the future with Twitch.
All right, thank you so much, guys. See you guys soon.
Yep, talk to you soon. Have a good night.
Fantastic. You know, you talk about being able to pick up that phone, but just to be able to reach out to Kevin and have him join us here in our broadcast tonight. I mean,
that was another talking point on the phone today was for just even the guys behind us, or like, you don't really necessarily think that you're going to have the opportunity to ever have that face-to-face. Like, it's like, oh, Twitch is awesome, and they are, but it's like, now, no, like, yeah, let's talk to them, let's see what they think.
Yeah.
And that just blows people's mind. It still blows my mind right now that like that we can do that, but it's amazing, and it's about them, and Twitch understands that. So whatever they can do to help make our students successful is going to make them successful as well. So, like, let's work together, let's make this happen, right? That's great.
Eric, anything to add?
No, that
he took the words out of my mouth. You're doing a great job, Eric. I think one of the things that I like that Kevin mentioned in there as well was, you know, we said if he'd had this program, and obviously he had some struggles and boundaries there with his parents, maybe rolling the eyes, like, really, you know, you're going to do that. But when an educational institution, as like Lambton College, and there's so many great opportunities here, says we're going to jump all the way in with both feet, we're going to put money behind this, we support this, it kind of does make it a little easier to go to mom and dad and say, I want to take this course, right?
Yeah, there's a process for that. We had to have it approved at the school, then we had to go to the ministry and get approval for the program. We had to reach out to these people. So I mean, on that note, we reached out to James. He's our subject matter expert for putting the content together. We have, so we're talking about content creators. We have a varsity team that compete, well, varsity teams that compete in 3 different titles. And now we have Charlie Watson coming up next, who owns an organization who encompasses all of that. So let's put it all together here with him.
Perfect. Well, we've got to keep moving along here. And next we've got Charlie Watson is here online to join us. Charlie is the founder and CEO of Set to Destroy X. Charlie, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. There's been I've been reading a lot about you online. In a good way, I have to say.
Hopefully it's good.
Well, I haven't found anything bad, but
but he's digging.
It's really, I was looking. I had a hard time. I'm going to let Rick and Eric kind of move a little more forward in this one, because you're just a little more familiar with what's going on there. But you've obviously recognized what's happening in the esports world even before it was really happening. Is that fair to say?
I think that's fair to say. I always saw it as a business. And there's still times that I think that, frankly, there's people that did it before I did. And I always wish that, you know, it doesn't matter if you were 10 years or 15 years ago, you always kind of wish you did it even like a year or two before you did. But yeah, it was 8 years ago. It's almost coming up to 8 years this coming February. And I literally still remember where I was sitting in my house on the edge of my couch, and I was just like, this is what I want to do. So yeah, it's I think, yeah, there's part of that is just recognizing that you always saw it differently than someone else saw it.
Right. Now you've got the content creation and the competitive side, both. So how do you make those two work together?
By having a great staff and surrounding yourself with good people. I can't stress how important it is to have amazing people around you. And before I really went into this full time, I used to run a full-time multi-million-dollar recruiting agency. And so once again, it's not just having fluff answers or accepting fluff answers to questions that you're asking. It's really diving into who you want to surround yourself with. Why does this make sense? How does this make sense? For so many different reasons. And I really applied that to my business. And when we go out and we try to find a pro player or a content developer or someone that's going to be working with me hand in hand in our staff, it's really important that I ask the difficult questions and determine, is this someone that I can work with? Is this someone that wants to work with me? And by enabling that and asking those questions, it really leads me to surrounding myself with great people.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that you put out there. I'm a firm believer in, I always try to say, surround yourself with people who are smarter than you and you'll look great, right?
That's right. Well, they make you better, and in turn you make them better, right? So it's not just, you know, I don't just see myself as the owner and CEO and the leader here. Like, you know, I don't care if someone just came in here a month ago, like, your opinion matters. If you have an idea or a concept, or you think there's something that we're not doing or something that we should be doing better, I want to hear it. So it's really just adopting that mentality from like literally the first time that you speak to someone, so that they feel like there is value to what they're doing and what they're saying, no matter when they're here. And that really leads us to having a greater impact, not only within our own organization, but within the Canadian esports market, within the international market. And it just allows us, it presents us more opportunities because of that as well.
Yeah, right. Eric, you want to jump in on this?
Yeah, I mean, these are the kinds of things, exactly everything that Charlie's saying, that we're looking to teach both in the program and to our varsity players. So when we have our varsity players come on the team, they don't just get thrown in front of the computer and we say, okay, practice, do whatever you want. It's exactly what Charlie's saying. You try to surround yourself with good people, good players, and try to teach them to be good people, and then also learn from them so that you can become better yourself.
Yeah, okay.
So
Rick?
And yeah, not just about the sports part of it, like Eric introduced, where all of our varsity players get a massage from our massage therapy. So interdisciplinary things. We actually have scheduled team meetings. So I know Charlie's really big on that, right? Like you have your whole team comes into a Discord and you guys all chat, and you want to make sure everything's funneled through for your social media and everything. And we want to make sure our players represent the college properly, right? So
that's right. And that's really important, is to have that structure and discipline as well. as well as also recognizing the good things that happen too. So, you know, at the end of each month, and frankly, there's probably times that we should be probably doing twice a month, but we always have a really long, you know, probably 2-hour meeting at the end of each month, and we really go through the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because at the end of the day, we're not perfect, and nor do we believe we are, but there's a lot of great things that we do and a lot of things that we can always keep improving on. And having those types of meetings really keeps everybody regimented, structured, organized, prepared, and on point for the tasks and goals that we're doing moving forward. So, and by all means, hey, if you guys want to give out some of those massage perks to set the strikes, I'd be very happy to qualify myself with some of those right now.
Hey, it's a 2-hour drive. You got your first win on King of the Kill here, didn't you, when you played as a team? So
That's right.
Come get another one and then get a massage.
That's right.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, yeah.
Tuesdays and Thursdays moving forward. So.
Charlie, I like how you talk about this, you know, and it just kind of reminds everybody who's watching or maybe just starting to hear about esports. This is a business, and it's an organization, and it's run as that with a, you know, the foundation and a structure. What kind of is it? We talked earlier about it being difficult to, you know, put this out to people as far, you know, moms and dads who might be paying for the course, you know, maybe rolling their eyes a bit about getting a whatever in e-gaming. How do you find those challenges as well? Yeah,
of course. You're going to have those challenges for the next 20 years. And there's always going to be an educational process. There's always going to be information that you can always be relaying to a number of different groups. What I find is really interesting right now is when you have parents that are saying, all right, well, what do I really want to encourage or support my son or daughter in right now? And you're finding that the parents are now a younger age. It's no longer the baby boomers, right? So you're seeing that these are the parents that really were the first to play Pong or Atari or Super Mario, and we're part of that, like 1993, like Super Mario Championship or Nintendo Championship, excuse me, yeah. And have some sort of connection to that world where, you know, their parents before them didn't. So I think it is getting easier as time progresses. So yeah, but there will be challenges. Is saying, you know, I don't know much about this, so how can I spend $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, X amount of dollars to really get my son and daughter into this? The great thing about that is there's a lot of supporting evidence to really state that, you know, there are full-time jobs right now. There's massive developers and publishers and organizations, and you can have a gaming career, you can be broadcasting and doing content creation. There's a number of things right now that you can go to your parent and have an actual adult conversation with them and saying, listen, this is what I'm passionate about, and there's 30 different things that I can be doing, instead of saying, hey, let's just enroll in general business, let's be safe, and let me spend the rest of my days in accounting or sales, or, you know, you have the same amount of outlets, if not more, because our industry is growing exponentially right now every single year. So there's always new opportunities where you're seeing business and retail and sales and all those things starting to come down, because those are things that are not a sign of the times. You know, how many times have you seen right now where brick and mortar facilities are capsizing and going down, and things are going bankrupt because they're not morphing to the times today? So right. There's a lot of evidence right now that I believe an adolescent or a young adult can easily go to their parent and say, listen, this is all the evidence, here's the homework, here's the due diligence, this is what I'm passionate about, let me go to do that. Why would they say no if you came to them and gave them all that evidence?
Yeah. And there's a couple of things there that I say, like the kids, like I have a 7-year-old and I'm that Nintendo generation. I went in Super Mario tournaments and things like that. He wants to be a content creator. When he goes to school, when he's done, he's going to do a job that probably doesn't exist yet, or he'll get into like a trade or something like that, right? So if we keep teaching from a textbook that took a year to write and then a year to print, and then we teach it for 3 years, by the time you're in that third-year course, well, I'm just saying, right? Like
most of them haven't been updated in 20 years.
Right. Well, so by the time you get through a third year of a brand new textbook, it's still 5-year-old material, where this is like real-time things current, right? So
well, and I think that's innovative.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's moving very fast. It's like Charlie said, it's growing exponentially. So, so there's a lot of different avenues that you can take. Like he's saying, it's great.
Yeah, and we keep saying the doors of opportunity. There's so many directions, and there's probably those doors that we haven't even seen or created yet. And I think I'd just like to point out for a minute too, like I know we're talking esports and we're talking gaming a lot, but really it's content creation. So it doesn't just necessarily have to be in the gaming world that we're talking about. This is the production side of things, whatever your passion is. And I think just, platforms, like Twitch are allowing people to express themselves where they really maybe kind of felt like they didn't know how to get it out. You know what I mean? Like they didn't know how to put it out there before. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, Dave, and I don't know if it's Dave or David.
That's okay. I've been called a lot of things.
Twitch is just such a unique platform. It's when you think to where they were even a year ago,
yeah,
let alone 2 years ago, to where they are now. It's changed so much, from the extensions and the support to the freedom of expression, as you mentioned, where there wasn't IRL and there wasn't creativity,
yeah,
and it was just like, all right, you're playing a game and here's the game and that's all you can do. And now they've really stepped into that YouTube platform and said, all right, we want to see what you're doing at home and being creative. And are you a leather maker? Are you someone that, do you want to show off farming, for instance? Like, it's just, there's so many different things that they're allowing now where they weren't a year and a half ago. And so I think really opening up those doors. I still believe that there still needs to be a little bit more structure coming in from Twitch, and that's probably the best way I can say it. But just from the doors that they've opened up right now, it's really enabling a lot of people to say, all right, well, we want to hear your voice. We want to see what you're doing. Because there's so many things that aren't being captured right now, and there's a huge market, and so be it. There might be an enormous amount of niche markets that aren't being fed right now, and having those doors open and saying, listen, we just want to see what you're passionate about, what you like doing, and we'll give you that. We'll give you that mountain to speak from. And I think that's really cool from Twitch. And then to echo that, and then do that from a student point of view, what they're doing with Lambton Esports right now is absolutely incredible. So not only are they coming in and they're gaining an entrepreneurship program, but they're learning specific assets like how to stream on Twitch, and then getting a partnership out of it, and then learning the tools to do it so that they're automatically successful coming right out of it. That's so empowering what Twitch is doing. So huge shout out to Kevin and his team and Twitch Student, and that's such a powerful tool to have, and really just raising an enormous amount of personalities moving forward.
And Charlie, you're some people are probably watching you for the first time right now and don't really know. You have an aura about you, and when it comes to esports in Canada, I mean, you're really kind of leading the way with what's going on. You've got a lot of media releases that have happened recently and upcoming things. We're overtime here right now, so I just want to make sure I give.
That's all right.
No, we were late getting to you anyways. No big deal. But I just want to make sure you do get your chance. So we talked earlier about some of the media that you've been in recently, and we just shared a nice centerfold. So if you want to just talk about some of the articles and things that have come out, and then I want to give you a chance to talk about your giveaway before we get into ours as well.
Yeah, that's very kind. Thank you for that. So once again, just Set the Destroy X really likes to lead in a multitude of different aspects. One of the biggest things that we have right now is our esports docuseries called Destroyers, as you can see from my sweater here, which has been extremely powerful for us to really give off another voice for us and lead our content in a different direction. And our Chief Creative Officer, Mike Baxter, or Stax as he's known, has really led that charge for us. So he's gone from China to Paris to everywhere in America that you can think of, and really captured who we are as destroyers here for Set the Destroy X. So that's a really big thing, and that's going to be a catalyst with relaunching our Gamer House in 2018 with some current sponsors that we have right now, and some non-endemics that we're having coming in for the beginning of 2018.
And we were in one of your we were in one of your episodes of the Destroyers when you came here in September, and then Stax just won some money in China, right?
Yeah, so we were just in China right now for Crossfire. So we were in, I'm going to butcher the name, so I'm just not going to say we're in China. And either way, we got fourth place, or we received fourth place based on our efforts. And we won $50,000 there. We were so close to getting into the final for like $200,000. But it's the highest placing that a North American team has ever had. Ever in the history of Crossfire. We've been the number one North American team for Crossfire for the last 2 years running. And we defeated the number one Crossfire team in the world that I believe hasn't been defeated in 2 years. We were the only team to win. So we had a whole bunch of people screaming our name and following us around. So it was just a great experience for Mike and our entire team.
That team has action figures. So
Yeah.
his North American team is the first North American team to beat this Chinese team, and Stax is posting on Twitter, we just beat a team that has their own action figures.
There you go.
So that's
That's cool in itself.
So your press releases, if you just want to get into that real quick too, we just had the
Yeah.
one come out now.
Yeah, I'll be really quick. So once again, myself and Set the Destroyer was just featured in the National Post, as you guys know, which is just such an incredible opportunity where they talked about Millennial Esports and Millennial League Sports and Lambton and ourselves and then several people within the Canadian esports market. We were on CBC's On the Money with Peter Armstrong, which is a tremendous opportunity for us. So me and one of our Crossfire Pro players, Jordan or Aaron as he goes by, we're in that. And then we've been featured in now 167 articles in the last 15 months. We've been on TV for 15 times just in the last 9 months. And we just, once again, it's just stemming all from hard work and putting our head down and really just being positive, and it really leads us to great opportunities. So we're just very fortunate, and we're just taking it all in stride and really enjoying it. So it's a great opportunity. We love what we're doing. We love what who we are and how we're presenting and working in the Canadian esports, let alone the international market as well. But there's a lot more work to be done, and we're really excited for it. And just lastly, as you mentioned with our giveaway, we have a giveaway that's coming up, or that's actually out right now, excuse me, that goes all the way to December 25th. So we're working with every single one of our partners and sponsors, from Scuff to Logitech to G Fuel, and then from Lambton as well, H1Z1, DX Racers. So what we're doing right now is we're giving away more than, I think, $3,000 USD worth of gifts, and we have 3 winners. We're going to pick 3 winners right on Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas.
It's really, it's just such a great way that ourselves
that ugly
and
sweater.
our partners and sponsors can give back to our collective communities and Lambton Sports as well. So we have some amazing prizes and gifts, and we're just really excited to give that back to 3 lucky winners on Christmas Day.
And how do they enter that draw?
Just going to, that's right, I guess I should say that. A professional would know how to do that. So setthedestroyx.com/giveaway. So if you just go to our website, you can click on the link. There's tons of ways that you can enter. And right now there's 18 days left. So either way, we're just really excited to give back to people that support us and our fans and our partners as well. And this is just one small way that we can do it.
Fantastic. Charlie, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on your success to date, and I'm sure we'll be catching up with you again soon.
Thank you very much, David, Eric, and Rick. I appreciate the offer and for us to join the show, and thank you very much.
Thanks. Take care.
Thanks, Charlie.
Have a great one. Cheers, guys.
Boy, I'm not sure the 2 hours is going to be enough to talk about what we're talking about here tonight. And we're say thanks again to Charlie Watson from Set to Destroy X talking to us here. If you're just coming into the stream and joining us, we are live broadcasting here at Lambton College at the new Lambton Esports Arena here as well. And if you want to find out more about the program, we're going to be talking about that more in just a moment. We are a little behind schedule. We apologize to our next guest who's coming up here, but stay tuned. Right now, we're going to bring in Adam Morris, right?
Nope.
Oh no, we had a change. I'm sorry.
We had a last-minute substitution.
And this is
and now we have Brady coming to join us.
Okay.
So he's coming on up here.
welcome.
Welcome. You got a mic beside you there if you want to.
Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
Brady's been pumped about this whole esports initiative since it came out. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
we were at London Comic-Con together, and he was very excited, and it was awesome to see the reaction that he was having too. For someone from our marketing department to be really excited is great.
Yeah, well, because that's all part of it, the piece of it, the marketing, and there's just, again, there's so many connections going on here. Thanks for spending time with us here tonight. And tell us a little bit about what you do, and then let's go into and talk about the new program.
For sure, yeah. I'm a recruiter with Lambton College here, so I go around to promote the school. I've been traveling around all of Ontario for the last couple months, going to different high schools, promoting this program as well as all the other ones we offer. It's been a fantastic time.
Sorry, can we just, you want to get him to turn his mic on?
Oh, okay.
Sorry. My bad. I thought we had it on. Press and hold. Release.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Just hold it.
Let the IT
Just-
guys
yep, there
fix
we
it.
go.
All right. Green is good.
Okay, let's do that again. Sorry,
Okay.
thanks for being here. But yeah, tell us about, you're from the marketing and you're a recruiter here, so
Yeah.
talk about what you do for us.
For sure, I'm a recruiter with Lambton College, so I've been traveling around Ontario for the last couple months visiting high schools, talking to students about all the programs we offer and the amazing opportunities you can find here at Lambton College.
Yeah, fantastic. So there's some excitement about this new program here?
Yeah, there's a ton. Everybody in the college is excited about it, including myself especially. I actually used to compete.
Are you a gamer? Yeah?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I haven't recently because of work and life and everything, but I used to compete about 8 years ago in Counter-Strike in a league called Cal O. It was an open league, so it wasn't that good, but I was still
Hey, it was competing, right? Having fun.
Yeah.
So, just on the note of popularity, we did get our numbers out this week, and the Esports Entrepreneurship and Administration program is actually number 7
It's
in
doing very well, yeah. We've gotten attention
all the-
from all over the place.
of all the programs that we offer. It's number 7 for enrollment right now, so get
Okay.
in soon.
All right. Just before we're having it, I need your mic for again. I'm not sure if we're doing this right.
So, anyways, I was gonna give them mine actually. So we'll let them do their thing, or
Did you get the switch there? Okay. Okay, we're back on
oh,
track.
we're back
Sorry.
that quick. All right. So
I did say before the stream, there's no such thing as a perfect stream yet. So
well, and I thought we were ahead of time when he came on, and like we were behind, but I mean further ahead than I thought we would actually be at that time. So we're doing all right. No big deal.
Yeah, we're having fun.
All right. So if I want to apply for this program, because we know it's going to be a popular program, it
Yeah.
already is. Where do we want students to go to? Potential students to go to? How do we sign up for Lambton College?
Yeah. OntarioColleges.ca. The application process has gotten a lot simpler over the years. If you visit, you can probably find your way through it, but worst case scenario, you can always give us a call as well. We'll help you with the application process, but it all starts on OntarioColleges.ca.
All right. Do we have a phone number or email they can do as well?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to get a hold of us, info@lambtoncollege.ca goes direct to a recruiter just like myself here, or you can give us a call, 519-541-2403.
right. Now, when you're out in the community or communities, you do some bit of traveling with this as well. What kind of response are you getting from? We keep talking about the parents rolling of the eyes.
Yeah.
And are you getting that as well, or how convincing do you have to be?
The students love it. I haven't talked to a student that is either into gaming or knows about gaming that hasn't been excited about this program and the things we're doing with the varsity esports program as well. Parents of those students are still a little weary, you can tell.
Sure,
but
yeah.
as they're seeing more institutions like ourselves here put together these programs, that conversation is getting a lot easier. And even in the few months that we've been talking about this program and it's hit the media, it's even gotten easier since then. So it's starting to get a lot of attention, and very quickly it's building this snowball that's rolling down the hill, if you will.
Right. Rick, anything to add with that?
No, we kind of touched on that actually earlier about the parents and getting them going. So usually, as soon as you mention the scholarships available, the prize money they can win,
Yeah.
the jobs that are available. So Charlie touched on it probably the most for the breadth of the positions. You take your traditional marketing or your traditional business course, all of that still applies to esports, absolutely. And then there's more doors that are open in a market like that because all of those game titles. So like we have Riot going around on our list right now because of the League Unlocked thing, right? So Riot needs people to market. They had all of those viewers for the League World Finals, so they had casters up in the stands like you'd see at a football game. They had them, down at the stage. So there's so many jobs that you can get from this, and when you kind of put that in perspective as traditional sports, parents get it. We have a great sports and rec program at Lambton College as well, and that's where we drew a lot of the courses from. So we pulled from our business courses, we pulled from our sports and rec program, and then we add these new courses for esports.
Right.
And so we're not trying to totally build something from scratch that's way out there and too hard to handle.
Yeah, I mean, you even mentioned you were like 8 years ago you were competing, right? So it's taken even that long to kind of come to the forefront of where things are right now. Something I think it's important to mention too about the program, and you talked before about same as like a basketball varsity team. You better be getting good grades, or you don't get to play, right? Is that something that's implemented with esports as well?
Eric's got a mic, so he's gonna.
Are we working now?
Is it on? Okay.
Hey, welcome back to the
It's
game.
very
Welcome
awkward there
back,
for
Eric.
2 minutes, me changing batteries. Hope I didn't distract it.
know we got
But yeah,
smiles for the
about the grades, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's limits to what you can actually do, but it's important to us that our players are keeping up with their grades, obviously, and so we put a system in place so that we can make sure that that's what's going on. And yeah, we always put the academics first when it comes to our team, right? So
Tell them about the system. It's a good system.
it is a good system. So we have to. Sorry, let me get into detail. So what we do is we have the teachers actually sign off per player per week. So the teachers have to sign a thing that says, yes, this guy is in good enough shape academically, so that he can continue to practice and play. We don't want anybody to fall off. We don't want to see any fails because of having to practice hard for the games, right?
Right.
And that was twofold because A, the varsity basketball team is looking at implementing the same thing so that their players have to do that. And when we're competing in ULAL and TESPA and CSL, they won't actually give those scholarship checks to players unless you have, usually it seems to be a 2.5 GPA on average.
Right.
So we need to hold them academically accountable because that's why they're here at the end of the day. And if they aren't held accountable and their grades suffer, they may not get the scholarship money that they could have won otherwise.
Well, and you might stop getting support from mom and dad too, right? I mean, you know, let's be honest. Mom and dad are often supporting what's going on in the colleges.
Take it for what it is. People are already looking at esports as that stigmatism where, oh, you're going to go sit there and play games all day, or you wouldn't have failed that class if you weren't in the arena playing video games. Unfortunately, not everybody's good at math, and one of our varsity players might fail that class or a class. And it's probably not because they were in the arena, they're just not good at it.
Well, I've done the same thing at home. I've had to take the computer away because you're not getting your reports in on time, and you don't like to have to do that. But the reality of it is we still have to learn and move forward with our academics, right?
And if we take that form a step further, so if their grades aren't doing that good, we don't want them to not be able to play. But if you think you can practice for 2 hours, you can go into our tutoring room and get tutored or get some help for a couple hours before you come and play, pick your grades up, and then get back to gaming. So,
back to you, Brady. Share some advantages of what's going on here. As a recruiter, obviously you're paid to go and get people to come here. What kind of advantages does this program and just Lambton College have that people should come here?
There's some major advantages with Lambton College. One, we're a small college with big results. So that means quite a few different things for students. Our average class size is 25 to 30 students. So smaller class sizes compared to a lot of your colleges out there. What that means for the student, though, is in a 3-hour lecture, you can actually put your hand up and ask the teacher a question. Whereas at some colleges, yeah, exactly. Some colleges, when you have 140 kids around you, you can't really do that so much. So that's one of the biggest advantages with us for sure, and it's a very personal place. You know your teacher's name, the teacher knows your name. You get on that kind of personal relationship with your professors and your teachers, and it's a very nice place that way. We're #1 in applied research, so there's tons of work up in Ontario. Sorry, #1 in Ontario.
That's
#3 in Canada even too. So
as well.
Huge,
but what that means for the student is there's tons of work opportunities and very unique ones as well, and research opportunities to really build those resumes and go a step further and possibly develop something new for a company or a facility out there.
Yeah, and Lambton College, and I don't have a whole list of them, but Lambton College is recognized worldwide. Like not just, and I'm just going to mention Enactus for a moment. I know like the Enactus program here has won awards. I think it was Zambia. They built a peanut butter factory and created their own economy over there. Like I know but worldwide recognition and have won awards here, beating out some of the big guys. So we won't have to say their names, but the big guys in the college and university world, right? So
absolutely.
What about on the financial side of things of taking this program? I mean, is this something that the government supports too, as far as taking, getting OSAP and the new programs that are available?
Yeah, it's an Ontario College Diploma program, so it's recognized by the Ontario Board that looks after all programs in Ontario college systems. But absolutely, you'll find it on the OSAP list there.
Yeah.
And if you're coming from out of Sarnia, we have residents. It's very close, so you can just walk down a path. Couple hundred feet.
Yep,
right?
5-minute walk from the main campus here.
And we're near the very bottom of the ladder as far as cost goes, right? For our
Absolutely, yeah. It's very inexpensive, depending on which program, so we won't talk about specifics, but it varies. Some programs go for 10 months. They might have a little bit more of a cost there, but absolutely, we're one of the least expensive residence fees for the Ontario college system.
Yeah, right. And the city of Sarnia, quite honestly, you know, so we're 73,000 strong. It's a tight-knit community. There's a real big community factor here, a welcoming factor, if you will. I've lived here all my life, never left, so I've always appreciated the welcoming factor. And I think, you know, with people from all over the world coming here to Lambton College, that's an important part of it.
Lake Huron right there, so we got lots of water. We got the bridge. You can be in the United States in about what, 12 minutes from the college. You
on a
can
good day.
hop on the highway.
My friend says we live on the southwestern Ontario Riviera with all that water out there. So that's
a nice way to say it.
Thanks for coming in. I know we've got anything you guys want to add up before we send Brady on his way?
No, I just wanted to make sure he got, I mean, obviously at the end of the day, what we're doing here is talking about what Lambton College has to offer.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure he got everything in that we may have missed, and if we didn't, that he got to say it again. All of the social media at Lambton College, YouTube at Lambton College Sarnia.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, Twitter, Lambton College as well. It's pretty standard across the board
Lambton
there.
College, yeah. So, and it's in our links there. So yeah, you can stick around for a few minutes. We're gonna end it if we wrap it up.
Yeah, we're just gonna kind of.
Sure.
I think we're just gonna wrap, it, so to speak. You look like you wanted to say something again, Eric.
No, I was just happy that he's here. Me and Brady were on the floor at London Comic Con, like I was saying, for many hours. So it's good to see him repping on the esports stuff, because it's good.
Yeah. What was talk about that for a minute? Did you meet anybody in particular that you were excited to meet, or what was that like down there?
Yeah, I got to see William Shatner in person, so that was cool.
Yeah.
But
you didn't.
Who's he? Oh, he's that TJ Hooker guy.
I mean, he was really far away because it was like 3-hour line, but
yeah, it was worth it, right?
Oh yeah, we had hundreds and hundreds of people come up to us, and they're just like, "Why are you here? Why do you have computers? What does this have to do with everything?" And we kind of explained the whole gaming thing. We had our couple gaming computers from the arena that we brought with us, and had kids and teenagers and everything playing and giving them the spiel, and everyone was like very, very understanding. So there was a huge age group there. There was some much older people and a lot of young people. And
what do you mean
they all
by much
kinda,
older, Eric?
Older than you know, and myself.
The average college student.
Yeah, older than the average college student.
All right.
So, but everyone seemed to get it. So even the parents were getting it, and when you told them about the program and how it makes sense, like the business side and everything, and how it's growing, especially when we're mentioning how it's growing, they all got it. So it was a really good kind of first test of being out in the public and talking about it, and I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, it was fantastic to see that light bulb open when you're speaking to parents and students out there, and they're going,
"You can see it, eh?
This is a thing now. Yeah, this is something that's happening in our community, and people can go out and make money in video games now. It's fantastic."
Yeah. Well, and I think Charlie mentioned it earlier too, and also just kind of timing's everything, right? You know, to do something. You know, he mentioned, you know, the generation. Like, I'm 48 years old, so I was the guy. Like, my first arcade game was a Telstar game. It was a triangular shaped thing, and my first handheld game was just a bunch of blip lights on it, and it was a football game, right? But I played the Pong, and you know, I had the Atom computer and all that, and so I was one of those guys there. So, you know, my boy's 17, so that I'm getting it, right? I mean, I'm involved in that streaming world a little more, so maybe more than others, but I think it's accurate to say that timing's everything, and that's probably why there'll be those challenges, but it's more understanding now than maybe 8 years ago when you were competing, right?
Yeah, and it's the accessibility now. Like I said, like Twitch seems so big and so far away, but they're not, and now we have that connection, so we can reach out, and it is accessible for our students. Just two of the things that I did think about, and I'm like goldfish, keep repeating these things in my head. We were talking about how Lambton College has a big reach, so like our CPET program is one of our big popular programs we have. So when you take our CPET course at Lambton College, the STEAM time that you get here, I know our deans and other staff members worked heavily to get it so that our STEAM time is actually transferable to Saskatchewan. So when you go and work in the oil sands or whatever, you didn't have to go there and then redo your steam time. So just another big thing for one of our programs. Because again, you don't have to come and take necessarily the esports program to be on a varsity team. Take one of our other programs, right? So lambtoncollege.ca/programs, right?
Yeah, we have over 90 different academic programs.
Take any program, sign up for one of our varsity teams, and see where that goes. The other thing was we went to the Ontario College Information Fair, and I was there with Brady as well, and we took one of our varsity players, and every other school came over, and if they didn't actually play the games, they were at least like what's going on over here? Why is your booth so full, and why isn't ours? So the draw that you get from having these things, and I mean it's the flashy candy of the esports stuff. But,
yeah, the timing thing was definitely right here. So like Rick had said before, we're in on a little bit even below the ground floor, so you still get that kind of like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. But in a couple years' time, it's going to be everywhere. So
I think it was Alberta for the steam time, actually.
Yeah.
No, it's Saskatchewan. My bad.
Yeah.
How's the application? I know it opened up in September. What's the application numbers like for this new program?
I don't know that we're at liberty to discuss the numbers. I know it was an internal email, but they're good. Like I said, that's the seventh highest in the...
Yeah, that's fair enough. There's a response out there. I mean, I know my boy's applying, and I said, you better apply. Like I said, I can see
they're being waitlisted eventually.
There being a fight to get in, right?
Yeah. It'll be good to get all your applications in before February 1st. That's the equal consideration deadline for college applications in Ontario. So as long as you get that in before February 1st, you'll be on the same playing field, at least, as everybody else who applied before that time.
Yeah. Thanks again for coming in, Brady.
Yeah, my pleasure.
You're welcome to stick around. We've got some time left here. I don't know if you guys can still read the screen, if there's any questions out there, but we're broadcasting live here at Lambton College from the Lambton Esports Arena, and we're super excited to be featured on the main page of Twitch here tonight. Just before I forget, I want to say thanks to you guys for inviting me and welcoming me to be the host who doesn't really know a whole lot about the gaming world, but I really understand it, and I'm excited for what we're going to be able to do together. And for those that don't know me, I'm David Burrows here in Sarnia from the Video Show Network and tvsn.ca. And I got a Twitch channel too. I'm up to, you know what I looked today? I'm up to 15 followers.
There you go.
Nice. You know how excited I am? Because that achievement level thing was, and I was like, I got to hit 10. And then earlier this morning I had 11, and then I looked before and I had 15. Like, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's like a big deal to me.
So that's where you go into one of those add-ons and you say you have like a follower goal, and then it'll count them, and then people are more inclined to hit that button. So there's all these incentives.
So I guess I'll still. So go to TVSN World on Twitch. Click the follow button. So maybe do a raid thing or something.
We got a way to make that happen, actually, Dave. So we'll look at some questions up there. But
let's do that.
Just what some things that I'm seeing though. There is a link up there to facebook.com/Lambton Esports.
Yeah.
If you go to our Lambton Esports page on Facebook, the bottom left, I think it says events or something like that. And there just happens to be a contest that opened today.
Right, we're going to talk about that.
So we've tweeted it out. If you go to @Lambton Esports on Twitter or twitter.com/Lambton Esports, you can see our tweet, and we will retweet it as well. It's a link to a contest, and Eric looks like he's excited to say the details, maybe, or am I just seeing?
No, you go for it. You got it.
All right, so
there we go.
We've got a graphic. So all these graphics that have been spinning throughout this broadcast, we've got eBlue again, the chairs, the desks, set to destroy X. We talked to Charlie from there, and they have a giveaway going as well with one of those Twitch bags and the shirt that we have. Future Pastimes is a local shop in Sarnia. They have like Friday Night Magic games and things like that. So they've actually given a box of booster packs of Magic. So you can see kind of the corresponding prizes above. So eBlue is giving us a keyboard, mouse, and headset. Every one of these is an individual draw that's going to happen on December 23rd. It's a Saturday. So we have a draw for the eBlue gear. We have a draw. It's one contest. You join, your entries go in, and we'll be picking a winner for each of these. Set to Destroy X gave us the T-shirt, the hat, and the bag. Again, Future Pastimes gave us that booster box. Lambton College, in conjunction with Eric Brown.
Conjunction?
Is that a
cooperation?
What's your function?
In partnership with?
In partnership.
We have Lambton College track pants, sweatpants. We have a varsity jacket there, and we have a nice sweater that can kind of, you can see the ribbon going across there. And then a SNES Classic, so the mini Super Nintendo system that's popular this year. So that's all the Lambton bundle. Swarm United. So David, you mentioned earlier we have Sean Harrison's running the show for us over here behind the scenes.
Who's our photographer back here taking pictures as well?
That's actually my wife.
Oh,
my wife,
okay, all right.
So her name's Anastasia Brown, and she has her own Instagram that you can find her at.
Tell her.
Anastasia Brown Photography and AnastasiaBrownPhotography.ca.
Awesome.
So there'll be all kinds of cool photos, I guess, coming out of that. Oh, she's saying no, but there will be cool photos.
I just want to
coming out of this.
Bribery ones.
You'll get a whole bunch. You'll get a set.
Yeah, awesome photos. Definitely check it out. Some of the photos that we've had on our social media for the arena has been on there too.
Yep.
So check it out. Again, Sean doing all of the behind the scenes thing. He did all the graphics that you see as well. So the blue overlay that's been up all night was him, and just putting everything together for us and helping us out. And he provided a jersey from Swarm United. The Closet Ink is a local shop that I'll be streaming from. I'm going to go in there on like Friday nights, and I got a pair of Jordans on that was on for a second there, but they release Jordans every Saturday, and they have clothes, so they gave us a nice Jordan hoodie and a Jordan beanie. Exotic PC, we have their computers in here. They gave us a mouse and a mouse pad, and then Twitch gave us the gear as well. So December 23rd, enter by going to twitter.com/Lambton Esports. We will retweet it out again. Sure, there's Twitter links in our chat. Sean's probably going to post them. He's nodding at me. So
Yep. There.
He's in
already
control.
done that.
He's already got it.
So lots of ways to enter. We've set it up so if you do follow Dave and on his social media and some of our other partners.
TVSN World is my Facebook and my Twitter, my Instagram.
Yep.
I've even got into this Snapchat thing. I don't know yet, but anyway.
But it's all
And
on there.
Twitch.
It walks you through. You just click on these things, and so just for following Dave on Twitch, I think you get like 200 entries into this contest.
Oh,
so
wow.
you're big time, Dave.
Oh,
You
that's
Wow.
pretty good.
Yep.
I got to get more followers on Twitch. Yeah,
Right.
I'm excited. I'm like my kid right now. I do have to say that it's really interesting. You just listed like a whole slew of people who are supporting this,
Yep.
and that's just one more thing that adds to what's really going on here. So
Community, right? We keep saying it all comes back to the end of the day. So not only do we have local companies in the community that don't even necessarily have anything to do with esports, and we do have like the Boys and Girls Club, things like that. Like this is a space that is a positive space. Everybody's on a level playing field when they come in here. Maybe not skill-wise when they come in and play, but you know what I mean.
What are you trying to say?
Well, I've seen you play Rocket League, Dave.
I'm going to be a Rocket League pro.
The funny thing about that statement is, didn't you beat me?
I did, actually. And
So-
I was playing at home the other night, and I did a stream, and I actually got like 6 goals in a row right from the center. Yeah, I don't know how I did it. Okay, I was telling my son I won 6-1, and I got like 5 in a row, and he's like, yeah, but Dad, you were playing bots.
Yeah.
Like it didn't count. And I'm like, the achievement level should have
No,
counted.
you'll get
so-
that. Like, apparently,
Got the
bots just don't
achievement.
count. It's got to be
So,
against somebody. Yeah.
Just goes to show even an old guy like me can have some fun with this here. And tell everybody one more time. I know we're a little bit over time, but tell everybody one more time about coming in here and doing the parties and stuff. We can do that.
Yep. So again, you can rent out the space on an hourly basis. So you can rent by the hour. We have hour packages and stuff like that you can find on our esports page. So it's lambtoncollege.ca/esports_arena that you can go to find it. You can have that space for corporate events. You can rent out the whole space, so it's just for you.
Perfect.
And birthday parties as well.
Nice. And once again, go to TVSN World on Twitch to get 200 entries.
Yeah, and there's some other things in there too. So I'm on
Just
Focal
saying.
Relic is my gamer tag. I'm on there for a few things.
I'm
If you
being
follow me
selfish.
on Twitch, I'm going to be teaching a course in January on networking, and I'm actually going to be live streaming my course on Twitch, just as a fun thing to do. I always stream like PUBG or a new game on Wednesday nights. I do Throwback Thursdays where I do like Mario Brothers and things like that. So.
Yeah. And of course, we have to say thank you one more time to Twitch for connecting with us here tonight, and all of our guests who are here tonight. We really appreciate them taking the time. These are really busy people, but took the time to be here. And again, Twitch featuring us here, and to Sean and everybody involved in the production here tonight. Any final closing comments, gentlemen?
Yeah, I also want to thank the photography department here for loaning us the lights.
Oh yeah, yeah, right.
That made us all look nice.
Yeah, everybody who joined us and everybody that you see who didn't join us on those sponsorship things kind of going across the screen there. Twitch student, they tweeted out from their channel as well supporting us. So, it's those little things. It only takes a second to do a tweet, but not everybody does it, right?
Yeah.
So they took that few seconds. They've had our back. So anybody, Charlie, I know they did it. Set to Destroy X. Everybody getting involved. You know, we've got a great team, and I think that's what's going to make this program successful. And now that the word's out there about the academic program and things like that, we can also look at our varsity program being more successful when we get players who want to come to Lambton College to be on the varsity team and take a cool program while they're here too.
Perfect. Well, let's go play some after-hours gaming right now. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Eric, Rick, Braden, thank you for joining us, and all our guests. And everybody, thanks to Sean for putting things together in behind the scenes, and our photographer.
Swarm United.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, once again for watching. I'm David Burrows from the Video Show Network, coming to you live from Lambton College. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.